Leeds United are a football club with tremendous footballing history. From the 1960s to the 1990s, they were one of the biggest clubs in England. However, they were succumbed to financial issues in the early 2000s. It took them over 15 seasons to get themselves back promoted to the top of English football. Now they're back down in the second tier of England, but they've got some fantastic wonder kids under their ranks like Cisco Somerville, Archie Gray, Jorginho Ruta. So we're going to be rebuilding Leeds from the 1st of January with up-to-date results back to Premier League champions. So strap yourselves in for this Leeds United rebuild. So Leeds are currently sitting in 4th place in the Championship, 9 points off of automatic promotion. So it's going to be a bit of a tough ask to get into that top 2, but we'll see what we can do. We are at the 1st of January, so we have got a whole January transfer window ahead of us, which is, of course, absolutely fantastic. And as you look through this Leeds squad, there is a lot of top class players here that we are going to be using. As mentioned at the start, Somerville, Archie Gray, Joel Pirro and Jorginho Ruta are all going to be used throughout this rebuild, so do not worry about them, guys. There's not a lot of money in the bank currently with £1 million in transfer budget and 15k in wage budget. We have got a superstar which I'm going to be selling. There he is, Willy Gnonto. He does not want to be at Leeds in real life. I don't think he's playing too much, to be honest. You can tell I'm a Manchester United fan from behind me. I don't watch too much Leeds, but I'm going to hold my bias away for this rebuild because you know what? There is some superb wonder kids and I actually respect the project that currently is going on at Leeds. So please don't click off the video because I'm a United fan. It is going to be a very good Leeds rebuild, but I'm going to be selling Willy Gnonto because I believe he's going to leave in real life, and hopefully we can get in the middle of this value of 20 to 25 million pounds for him, which would be a top class sale. So let's go ahead, January, let's see what we can do. We've got some tough games coming up. We've got Birmingham, this is the 1st of January, so we've still got to hopefully sack Wayne Rooney, Cardiff, Preston and Norwich, and I'll bring you back just for that game against Bristol City, where hopefully I've got some top class January signings. So there it is, Willy Gnonto has finally left Leeds United. He's got his dream that he so wished for in real life. He is out the door for £17.25 million, which is still fantastic profit for Leeds, having only signed him for 3.8 from Zurich a couple of seasons ago. It's a bit of a shame that it's not worked out at Leeds, and as you can see on FM, he's very, very highly rated. But to keep this rebuild semi-realistic rather than keeping him, as he's not going to be here in real life, I don't think, by the end of the January, we've decided to sell him, and he's not the only player we have decided to sell as well. I've been looking in the rumour mill, and it looks like Luke Ayling is also potentially leaving the club, and I don't think he's a fantastic right back anyway. So for £1.3 million, we've also sold Luke Ayling. He's 32 years of age and on some decent money, so we'll say goodbye to him. And a slightly controversial sale of Darko Gyabi has also happened. Now, we were offered outrageous money for Brighton by this kid, £9.25 million. I know he's just been signed by Leeds for £5 million, but we've managed to get a very good offer. So not only is it £9.25 million, we've also got 50% of any future sale, and we've already got Archie Gray and James Shackleton and Lewis Bate as all young central midfielders at the club. And to be honest, we could easily take this money and reinvest it right now. So a bit of a controversial one, but he is also out the door. And finally, Patrick Bamford has also been sold. Now, for me, Patrick Bamford just is not good enough. He is going to be leaving the club as well. And again, 30 years of age. He's at the club on loan. We're back to hopefully try and sell in the summer, like a lot of players from Leeds did in the summer, like, you know, Brennan Aronson and all that lot. All absolutely going to be leaving the club in the summer as well, so do not worry about that, Leeds fans. First signing is Jeremy Injaki. Now, this guy is a right back for Watford after being at West Ham in the Premier League a few years ago. A simply very cheap backup right back, £1.3 million, and coming in to pretty much do a job of Luke Ayling, but he's only 23 years of age. He can do a better job as a wing back on attack, getting in, crossing the ball and using that pace. So welcome in Jeremy Injaki. Our first big signing is Juan Larios, £6.5 million from Southampton, the Spanish left back from the Barcelona academy. And then of course moving to Manchester City, the classic Pep Guardiola poaching. This guy looks absolutely fantastic. Again, can play that wing back and attack role very, very well. Very quick, great dribbling, great crossing, very determined, and hopefully can be our superstar left back of the future. And our final signing, and the person to replace Patrick Bamford and sort of rotate with Pirro, with Jorginho Ruta and Rocco Simic, is Rocco Simic to be the third striker and the rotational option. £9 million is what we paid for him. He is a 5-star potential wonder kid, 16 determination, great pace, great finishing, and of course 6'3" as well, so an absolute man mounted. Now the tactic we are using is what I've called the best 4-2-3-1. I've used this in a few rebuilds coming up in the future that are already recorded, so This tactic is unbelievable. I'm going to very quickly click through it now, and you can see every single player instruction while I'm waffling on. It is absolutely fantastic, and if you want to absolutely dominate teams, use this tactic. It is brilliant. We're going to use it for the whole of this rebuild, and if you wanted to use that tactic, you can pause it on any moment just there, and you can get it from there. It's all going to be available on the Patreon, which is just linked down below. Now, it's going to be available with the rebuild files, which I do have as a Patreon exclusive. So anyone that does support, we're not the absolute legends on screen now. Thank you very, very much. That is also going to be down there with that. So feel free to go ahead and pick that up and help support your boy out. The team we've locked in, the players we've locked in for this first sort of end of the season is going to be Juan Larios at left back, Archie Gray in this DM on support role, Francisco Somerville on the left side with Jorginho Ruta up front. I'm very excited to see how this team can get underway. We beat Birmingham 3-0. We beat Stevenage 3-2 in the third round of the FA Cup, and then also beat Blackburn 5-2 in the fourth round, which is fantastic. Lost to Cardiff, drew to Preston, and drew to Norwich. So not the greatest start, but hopefully we can kick on from now and a true challenge for the automatic promotion places. 10 points is all it is from Southampton to ourselves. So let's see what we can do for season number 1. Well, we narrowly missed out on automatic promotion, so we had to go through the playoffs. We're in the first leg in the semi-finals against Norwich. We ended up drawing 2-2. Before the second leg back at Allen Road, we dominated and won 4-1 in an absolutely convincing game, setting up a playoff final against Hull City. Well, there was no goal scored until the 111th minute when Jed Spence put Leeds 1-0 up. Now, I believe as I'm recording this, he's just been recalled by Spurs, which is a bit of a shame, but we move. Gruev is on the ball. We find Somerville. We find Rocco Simic in the 114th minute to make it 2-0. Hull are going to make a late comeback in the 119th minute with Aliar running through, Julia Firpo missing the challenge, and Liam Delap putting them 2-1 behind, but they couldn't get the equalising goal, and we do go up in the playoff final in a game which we certainly deserve to as well. Much more XG, much more shots. They had more possession, but we were certainly the better side, and we're going up in the championship with, I believe it's Ipswich and Leicester. It is indeed. We were very, very close. 92 points, Ipswich on 94. Southampton got 93 and did not get promoted. They actually got knocked out by Hull, who had just 74 points. The second half of this season was absolutely fantastic, as you can imagine. If we just quickly head to the schedule, this sort of spell of form we had in January was very much a blip. We had a very, very strong run, as you can see, from the playoff final all the way to the 13th of February, losing just one game, which was the FA Cup quarter-final. We lost 3-1 to Liverpool, which I'm, of course, not too fussed about. And obviously, these stats are a little bit skewish because it only takes in it's from the January the 1st rather than the first full bit of the season. So Dan James was fantastic with 15 goals in just 19 games, 14 goals in 19 for Ruta, 13 in 13 starts for Joel Pirro as well, is fantastic. Now Archie Gray was locked into that DM role and he played 28 games, got 4 goals and 7 assists. We know how good this kid could be in real life, and we're going to be tracking his progress throughout the course of this 5 years. I'm going to be checking out his stats at the very end of the 5 years in the development section, where we see the progress of every single stat at the end. The numbers here are simply ridiculous, so make sure you're sticking out till then to see how good Archie Gray turns out. Stuart Dallas was very good. He played lots of games in that right back role, 4 goals and 9 assists. Sean McGurk as well, 3 goals and 7 assists. Now forgive me again, Leeds fans, I'm not sure who this guy is. He was in the under-21s when I first joined. He looks absolutely fantastic and progressed very, very well in this season, was an absolute superstar in that cam role for us. Juan Larios, 2 goals and 6 assists, a very successful signing, and Somerville must have picked up an injury because he played just 18 games, 1 goal and 4 assists, and not the greatest of starts, to be honest, just a 6.81 average rating. And one thing I've always found with Somerville is he is very, very quick, but he never really seems to develop his mentals or technicals quite as much as I would like him to. So my goal for this rebuild is going to be making him an absolute superstar. He's going to be locked in for the full 5 years, as well as Archie Gray. Them two are guaranteed, but hopefully going to lift a Premier League title with Somerville and Archie Gray in the side. That is going to be the goal. Now, in terms of money, obviously we're back promoted to the Premier League, so we've got £50 million to spend and £443,000 in wage budget, but that really does not tell the whole story, because as we head down into the under-21s or the under-18s where I put them all, there is a whole host of players here which I'm looking to get rid of. Out of this list of Werber, Aronson, Bamford, Lorente, Roca, Koch, Harrison and Sinistera. I'm looking to sell every single one of them. The only person I'm looking to keep is Rasmus Christensen. This guy is a fantastic right back and has been playing in the Europa League and the Serie A for Roma as a rotational option. I'm going to bring him back to Leeds as a Premier League right back. Hopefully that's going to go down well. He looks fantastic. He was great in the Premier League last season and looks like a top class player. And I don't believe I've seen anything about him slandering Leeds or anything, whereas like Brendan Aronson has been an absolute you know what, Leeds fans. So we're going to be selling players like that. So season 2 for Leeds is going to be absolutely massive. First time back in the Premier League since the relegation. Lots of money to go ahead and spend. I think it's time to sign some wonder kids. Quickfire outgoings. Mark Roca has led the club to Al Nassr for 28 million. Patrick Bamford's off to Bochum for 8 million. Jack Harrison's gone on loan to Aston Villa with a mandatory fee of 17.5. Glenn Kamara has been loaned to Sporting in Spain. Of course, we couldn't sell Brendan Aronson, but he's been loaned to Fortuna Dusseldorf with a £9 million optional future fee. Stuart Dallas has been loaned to RB Leipzig, which is a little bit controversial, but we have moved on from a player like Stuart Dallas. We couldn't sell Diego Llorente for anything, so we've loaned him out for 0% of his wages being paid, which is, of course, an absolute hole in the pocket, but it is what it is. And finally, the board would not let me sell Luis Sinistera for anything less than £25 million, and no one was offering it, so I've loaned him to West Ham, again, with no one paying any of his wages, which is a little bit frustrating, but is what it is. Now it's time to get into the fun bit. The signings we have made, and ladies and gentlemen, we have made some absolute bangers. And number one is Jeremy Sarmiento. This guy has just joined Ipswich on loan in the Championship and has been smashing it, I believe, at West Brom as well. He is a top class talent, and on this year's FM is one of the best wonder kids you can get. He's got 16 dribbling, fantastic pace, decent enough determination. But if you're not brand new to the channel, you know I love players of these two stats right here. Extremely consistent, and they love big matches. He is a little bit injury prone, which we're going to have to work on, but Jeremy Sarmiento is going to be a top class player here at Leeds. It was quite expensive at £20 million, but that's not the end of the world. He's already worth 50 million quid, so welcome in Jeremy Sarmiento for a measly 20 million quid. Dario Esuzio is our second signing. This guy is a young Portuguese central defensive midfielder, signed for just £3 million, has been loaned out to Stoke, and again is going to come into the club and come into this little wonder kid conveyor belt, which we're going to create here at Leeds, and hopefully in sort of 2 or 3 seasons time he's going to be part of the first team squad and be good enough in hopefully European football by the time we get there. Signing number 3 is Micah Beereth, again another one similar to Esuzio. £1.6 million is all we paid to Arsenal. Good enough little wonder kid here, 21 years of age. Going to try and loan him out, but it's been quite difficult to get everyone out on loan, so Micah Beereth might just be a squad player in the Premier League for this season. Michael Hamilton is another one of them, £750,000. I personally have never heard of this guy, but he's got 5-star potential, extremely consistent, and signed from Man City for literally 750k. So an absolute bargain in Micah Hamilton. Samuel Lucero is a £3 million centre-back we've signed from Argentina. Another one we've brought in who's going to go out on loan, 2.5-star ability, 5-star potential. Pretty much wonder kids only so far. The second player other than Sarmiento coming in to the first team is Mies Hilgers. This guy is from the FC20 Academy and is absolutely fantastic. 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. Consistent, loves a big match, great determination, great jump and reach and head in, which of course is very, very important for a centre back, and just signed for £13.5 million. Has got some lovely turkey teeth as well. So welcome in Mies Hilgers. And the last signing is another one in the wonder kid conveyor belt, Junior Zay, for just, I believe, £7 million. £3.5 million, and loaned back out to his parent club Basel. Looks very, very good, great flair, determination, a bit like Somerville with his fantastic pace and dribbling, but not a lot else. Hopefully one of them becomes an absolute superstar. And of all them signings, the team is looking like so. You can see it's not too different to actually what the Leeds team could look like in real life. We've got Ilan Meslier in goal, Christensen at right back with Hilgers and Pascal Struijk at centre back, Larios at left back with Ethan Ampadu and Archie Gray in central defensive midfield together. Sarmiento on the right, Francisco Somerville on the left, Joel Pirro in cam, and Ruta up top. The backups are looking very strong as well, with Carl Darlow, Jeremy Njahia, Samuel Lachero, Charlie Creswell, Junior Firpo, Ilya Gruev, Lewis Bay, Dan James, Sam Greenwood, Micah Hamilton, and Rocco Simic. The team looks very, very strong. I'm not expecting, much beyond a mid-table finish with this Leeds team. There is a lot of young players in here as we sort of do it by the general info and look through their ages. There's not a lot of experience. You've got Carl Darlow at 33. Then you've got Firpo and Christensen at 27. Dan James at 26. And after that, it's just 24 and under. But the potential is fantastic. As you can see here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with 5-star plus potential. We head into the under 21s. There's a lot of them here as well. We head into the under 18s, and there's a few of them in here as well. And the youth system here at Leeds is very, very good. Now, if we head to the club info, it shows only 2-star youth recruitment, which, trust me, throughout this rebuild, we're going to see that basically show us as 5-star. 4-star youth facilities, 4.5-star training facilities is absolutely essential to making them wonder kids that come through top class players. And how we're finding our wonder kids is through our recruitment focuses. Now, I showed these guys off to you in a video a few weeks back, but basically I'm searching for 15 to 21-year-olds all across the world in every single different continent, and making sure I've got scouts which have the world knowledge that can go ahead and do it as well. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll try and remember to link it up there. I probably won't. It's been on the channel 3 or 4 weeks now. It's very, very clear what it is. It's a scouting guide, so feel free to go ahead and watch that one. Of course, this season, we are just in the Premier League, in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Our season preview in the Premier League sets us down in 16th place. I'd like to do better than that. Let's aim for mid-table in our first season back in Premier League football. We have smashed it in the correct system with these current Leeds Wonder Kids and a few extra signings on top. We have got Leeds into 7th place in the Premier League, qualifying for the Europa Conference League, which is absolutely brilliant. And if Fulham didn't go ahead and win the FA Cup, we'd have done even better and got into the Europa League. So silver linings, we're in Europe, a 26 goal difference, 17 wins, 10 draws and 11 losses. Simply a fantastic season for us here at Leeds. In the Cups, we were absolutely useless, but I couldn't care less. We are in European football in just what will be season number 3, which is absolutely outrageous. This season, we locked in a few players. Rocco Simic for the end of the season. Sarmiento, Somerville as the wingers, Larios as the winger, wing back, and Archie Gray in there. But the real stand-up performer this year was Joel Pirro. He was superb in that striker role. 19 goals and 3 assists, and this guy looks like an absolute demon. He's 6'1", 16 finishing. Not the quickest of geezers, but will score you a whole ton of goals. Do not leave him behind if you are doing a Leeds save, because this guy is absolutely fantastic. Sell Willian Onto and use someone that actually wants to be here. A fantastic first season in the Premier League. Obviously joined from Swansea just in the summer just gone. So a fantastic signing for Leeds, and looks to be doing really well in real life as well. Jorginho Ruta was sort of the bit part player to him, playing games in cam, off the wings, but mainly as a backup to Joel Pirro. 20 starts, 14 on the bench, 9 goals and 2 assists. Just a 6.68 average rating is a little bit worrying for Ruta. Hopefully you're going to have better next season, but if not, he might have to be shown the door, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world because we've got some players that are progressing far beyond that. Francisco Somerville with 41 starts this season, 6 goals and 3 assists, sort of showing what I hoped. He is slowly progressing in the technicals and mentals of more and more game time, and he is going to become a superstar this season. 6.71 average rating isn't fantastic, but he's getting there, and I believe in Somerville. Archie Gray this season, again, just levels on levels. A value of £81 million, 37 starts, 2 goals and 4 assists in that DM role is absolutely fantastic. But the superstars this season were Joel Pirro and actually Dan James with 10 goals and 6 assists in 26 starts. Maybe a little bit of a hidden player to keep an eye on. Big DJ could become not only a Leeds superstar, but a Welsh superstar as well. So as a United fan, I do not mind Dan James at all. I quite like him, in fact. And Ilya Meslier is obviously our goalkeeper pretty much for this whole rebuild. Very, very good season, 7.04. Christensen, 36 games, 9 assists, very, very good. And even Sam Greenwood with 18 starts, 4 goals and 6 assists, playing a lot of games in the cam role for us. He was absolutely fantastic. A 7.07 average rating. So again, maybe someone I didn't expect to be a superstar, but could turn into one of the best players at this club. Now, in terms of the development centre, we have had some superstars come through the academy, ladies and gentlemen. Roy Birchall. This guy could be anything he wants to be. 16 determination, 18 work rate, and 14 natural fitness is a fantastic start for a wonder kid. He can also play in central midfield, central defensive midfield, left mid, or striker. And when I was looking at this guy to, actually develop him into something, he really could pretty much do any of them roles. I ended up settling on training him into the DM role as a DM on support. Now, the only reason that I sort of was against this is passing is only 8, so we've also set up so we train his passing as well. But as a striker, he looks like he could pretty much do it with good enough composure, finishing. He's just not very quick. As a central midfielder, he is just absolutely superb. And I think he's going to become one of the best players in this team by the end of this rebuild. He looks fantastic, and hopefully we can progress him into being that way as well. The loans we sent out were also fairly successful. If we look through the average ratings of them, Glenn Kamara had a very good season, so hopefully we can get some good resale value on him. Same as Llorente and Sinistera. I'm sort of hoping now they've gone out and actually had good loans, we can sell them for decent money. Dario Asugio with 34 games in the Championship is great for his development. Diego Montero is a wonder kid here at Leeds as well. We've loaned him out to Wrexham where he played 30 games, which is very good. Sean McGurk, who we sort of touched on in the season number 1, was very good for Middlesbrough this season in the Championship, played 50 games. He's obviously a League 1/Championship level player, and he's not going to make it the step into the Premier League, but certainly a good player for anyone around that sort of level. Joe Goldhart with 41 games for Derby as well, and Junior Zay, who we sent back to Basel for some reason because he never played a game there again, which is very, very frustrating. But season number 3, £83 million in the bank, £145,000 in wages. Now, I could go absolutely outrageous and go ahead and sign some stupid wonder kids, which I will do a little bit of, but we're going to be looking to also just make the club a lot more financially secure. Now, obviously in the early 2000s, Leeds were struck by financial issues, and it took them a long time to recover from that. So I don't want to just plummet them into, unnecessary debt, etc. So we're looking to do this quite cleverly as well. There's £111 million in the bank as we speak, no debt. It would be seriously impressive to mess Leeds up from here, so hopefully we can just keep the little wonder kid sort of conveyor belt going on, sign some fantastic players, and I reckon from the start we've had, take Leeds the champions in the first 5 seasons of this rebuild. So let's get into season 3 and check out the new signings. And signing number 1 is the cover star Tommaso Baldassini. He is consistent, he loves a big match, and is an Italian wonder kid in Cam. He has got fantastic dribbling, finishing, first touch, determination off the ball, vision, technique, and pace, and is the real deal. Signed from Empoli for just 16.75 million, already a value of 72 million. An absolute bargain, and is going to be an absolute game changer this team. Tommaso Baldassini is going to lock in that Cam role, and if he doesn't, we've brought in Tom Bischoff to be his backup in Cam. Signed from Hoffenheim, a signing of just £15.5 million. Could be an absolute superstar, could fall under the back up to another superstar and never really progress. So we'll see what happens with big Tommy Bischoff. Santiago Beltran is a goalkeeper who was signed to be the backup to Ilya Meslier throughout this rebuild. Again, similar to Tom Bischoff, might play the bit part role and never really grow and just be there. But here he is as a good backup goalkeeper. And again, if you guys are looking for wonder kids, these are all on your game, so go ahead and feel free to go ahead and sign them. They are all fantastic. One player that is smashing it in real life, and there's a lot of talk around this man, is Antonio Nusa. This guy's a Norwegian winger for Club Bruges and looks absolutely fantastic. He's got great pace, dribbling, finishing, and determination, and could potentially be the answer to Somerville not doing his best. He is going to be pushing Somerville to the limit. He's already got the technicals and mentals, in my opinion. He's just not as quick, so maybe they're the perfect partner to work off of each other. He's extremely consistent, and again, a value already of £54 million and signed for just 22, so an absolute bargain. Tien Den Bogende is a player I signed a lot in real builds because he's very, very cheap. I don't know why I keep signing him, because I never managed to progress him very well, which surprises me because he's extremely consistent. 14 determination, great jump and reach, 16 finishing, and 16 composure. But couldn't tell you a time I've ever managed to get him good. He signed him for just £6.75 million, but who knows why I can never get this guy good. Have you guys ever got him good? Let me know down below. But we've signed him, and hopefully this is the rebuild where he proves me wrong and becomes an absolute superstar. Devin Wrench is the next signing. It is an expensive one for £32 million, and we'll go through the outgoings in just a second, so it makes more sense because there's a right back that has led the club for pretty much the exact same money. He's fantastic, obviously from the Ajax Youth Academy, great determination, can go forward very well, and is also very good defensively. Can also fill in as centre back if needed, so a bit of a Jurriën Timber regen in himself. And the backup to him is Alexandra Pantrea. This guy is a Romanian right back signed from the Stade Bucharest. He is absolutely fantastic and signed for a bargain fee of just £1.6 million. So welcome in big Alexandru as well. We're not quite done, as a late deal to sign Levi Colville happened. He's got 17 composure, unbelievable pace. Do I need to say anything about this guy? Probably not. Now, he's not broke through at Chelsea like he has in real life, which is a bit of a shock, to be honest. He was alone at Burnley last season and was absolutely fantastic. And, of course, is ready for the step up to Premier League football. He's playing it right now in real life and is an absolute superstar. So we've signed him on loan, and we'll see if at the end of the season we can bring him in. They wanted me to man an optional fee of around £100 million. So I said no, of course, because his value is only 60. I'd bring him in for around 50 million quid. So at the end of the season, we'll see how he does, and he may become our superstar centre-back for the whole of this rebuild. But a very clever loan signing. And as a striker to be from Chelsea, as well as Armando Broja. Now, I am a massive advocate of this guy on Football Manager. He's 23 years of age. He is heavily overlooked. But actually, if you look in the editor pre-game, he's got one of the highest potential abilities on the game. He's got fantastic finishing, composure, pace, and acceleration, and just seems to always hit it in simulations, but I never hear anyone ever talk about him. So Armando Broja is going to come in and show you guys what an absolute superstar he could be. And the last signing for £8.5 million is Gabriel Moscardo. I believe this guy's just signed for PSG in real life as well. So £8.5 million. We'll sign him before we can never see him again. He's very consistent, 5-star potential, Brazilian wonder kid. Absolutely fantastic. Now, in terms of outgoings, you can see here £102 million. Now, £31 million of that was Rasmus Christensen, 13 for Max Werber, 18 for Jack Harrison, 3.5 for Sean McGurk to Parma, 3.8 for Diego Llorente, and just underneath my head here, Sinistera, so for 27 million to Al Hilal. So we've done a very good job of, rather than selling them all for stupidly cheap last season, loaning them again, letting them get some value and selling them for lots and lots of money. There was no other sales in this bit. You can see I'm consistently loaning players out and doing the whole rigmarole of what you should be doing when you're playing a Football Manager, developing wonder kids and selling the older players. Out on loan this season, we've got Lachero, Jeremiah, Michael Hamilton, Sonny Perkins, Jorginho Ruta, Hjelde, Bireth, Bate, Greenwood, Aronson, and Geldhart. I still can't sell Brendan Aronson. It is an absolute impossible task to get rid of that guy. So he's still here, stealing a living, but going out on loan in the Bundesliga constantly and dropping 5.4s like he does in real life, which is fantastic. We're back in the 4-2-3-1 again. The team is looking very strong. We've got Meslier in goal, Wrench, Struijk, Hilgers, Larios, Ampadu, Gray, Somerville, Baldazzini, Sarmiento, and Armando Broja. We've now got a 15-man squad as we are in Europe. So Beltran, Pantea, Creswell, Colville, Firpo, Moscardo, Gruev, Nosa, Bischoff, Dan James, and Joel Pirro, with the 4 sort of youngsters slash homegrown status fillers as Carl Darlow, Roy Burchill, Junior Zay, and Tio Den Bogende. Hopefully still loaning out Rocco Simic, Dario Sergio, and Diego Monteiro. Season 3 is going to be tough. We obviously overachieved massively last season. We predicted to come in 16th and got into Europe. This season predicted to come in 14th and we're in Europe. So I would now expect us to sort of drop off just a little bit, maybe win the Europa Conference League. Let's see what we can do for Season 3. Well, this team continues to amaze me. We have lifted the FA Cup trophy for just the second time in Leeds' career. Larios with the first goal. John McGinn on the right-hand side for Aston Villa finds Matty Cash, who finds Kamara, who blasts it home to make it 1-0 in the 68th minute, but we were not done there. Pascal Struijk with a throw in the 82nd, finds Baldazzini, back to Struijk, whips it in, and Somerville, we were having little doubts about him, but he's come up with a clutch goal there and lifted the FA Cup for Leeds United. But that is not the only success of this season, as we have managed to secure Champions League football for season number 4. And that's because we come 5th in the Premier League on 64 points, which just 1 point less would get us down in 8th, and just 2 points less would have us 9th. A ridiculously tight season where just 64 points got you in here. 69 points got you third place in the Premier League. An unbelievable Premier League season, this one. Arsenal in the league on 82 points. Now back-to-back titles for Arsenal. Obviously, with us starting in the January of up-to-date results, Arsenal are absolutely smashing it. So interesting to see what it predicts will happen from the real-life scenarios. Armando Broja, you can see here, was outstanding. We'll go for the individual player stats in just a second. But as a team, I want to show you we are very, very good. We are the second most goals scored and the most shots for, which makes us exciting to watch. We're only the 6th best team on goals conceded as well, with just 44 conceded. We don't hold the ball, we just all-out attack, which I absolutely love, and I think Leeds fans would love as well. Now, in terms of goals, Broja scored 30 goals and got 3 assists. I keep singing this guy's prayers. He is absolutely fantastic. Give him a chance. Let him absolutely dominate. He is absolutely fantastic. Jeremy Sarmiento this season with 11 goals and 9 assists is great. Somerville with 11 goals and 5 assists, and finally becoming a superstar player is brilliant. He is now a 3.5-star player. Value of £62 million, and I think now he's going to become that next level player that he could be. And he's not the only one as well that has progressed very well this season. Tommaso Baldini is a superstar. 7 goals, 16 assists, and a 7.21 average rating. He was absolutely fantastic, and the amount of yellows on this screen is scary. He's consistent, he loves a big match, and if you guys are playing a save, this is release clause, I believe. Just go and activate it. He is fantastic. He is an absolute superstar. Dan James, again this season, proven to be a fantastic bench option. 7 goals, 2 assists in 13 starts. 30 off the bench is great. Hilgers with 6 goals, that fantastic jump and reach. And Joel Perreault, sadly, this season has become the backup to Broja and wants to leave because we locked Broja in as a starting striker. Fair enough. He scored 4 goals off the bench and was okay. Noosa, 3 goals is good. Ampadu, lots of starts and being fantastic. Archie Gray, 12 assists and 43 starts. A little sneak peek at his stats. He is growing very well. He's now made his England debut as well and is simply fantastic. I wonder if he's heading to the 2026 World Cup. I'm not sure if there's a way we can see that. If we go to England, can we see it? I hope so. That would be absolutely awesome. Is he going? Archie Gray, is he on the list? Is he on the plane? I don't think he is he? He's not. Heartbreak for Archie Gray. But Levi Colville is, and he was fantastic this season. 42 games, a goal and an assist, and that value, we can definitely afford that. So expect to see Levi Colville enter the club very, very shortly. Next season, I don't know what we should be aiming for because we've just got Champions League football. Let's win it. I mean, we probably won't win it, let's be honest. Finances-wise, we are going down, but back up to 70 million, which is good. Maybe need to be a little bit less spendy on transfers. I mean, we have spent around 170 million in 2.5 seasons, which is a lot, but also not too bad considering we've sold 170 million. So I'm actually quite happy with what we've done so far. I think it's just the life of being a top Premier League club. Maybe a few sales underway. Maybe finally getting rid of Brendan Aronson. And of course, bringing in more and more wonder kids and maybe lifting another European trophy. Actually, we're not going to be doing that. We didn't lift any European trophy. We lost to Bran in the 4th qualifying round. So rubbish. Ignore that, all right? Conference League is pointless. Champions League is our aim. And what to help us get to the Champions League is going to be the £47 million signing of Levi Colville. Now, this guy, like I said, was fantastic last season. That value was simply too good to turn down. Since signing him, he's already gone up to £86 million. It's an absolute no-brainer, and I can't believe Chelsea won't give him a chance. Superstar, wonder kid, Levi Colville is here. We've signed our first regen as well for £2.8 million from Estigal in Iran. Now, this is using the scouting techniques. We've signed him for £2.8 million. And Season 5, sneak peek, he's going to win the Next Gen award. That's how good this guy is. Is he going to be part of our team? You'll have to wait and see. Great stamina, great determination, decisions, teamwork, etc. £2.8 million. Wonder Kid signing in, and a big signing of £24 million in the last signing of this window is Hugo Larsson. This guy starts off the career at Eintracht Frankfurt. He's moved to Southampton in this save, but they were relegated last season, a relegation release clause of £24 million. So we picked him up, consistent, loves a big match, fantastic DM to sit next to Archie Gray. He's 6'2" and a bit of a destroyer, but can also play football, which is great to see. And we've got him for an absolute bargain fee as well. Had a great season in the Premier League this season in a very struggling side. We've picked him up for £8.5 million less than they signed him for. So very good business from us. Our team is looking very strong, as you can imagine. Meslier in goal, Wrench, Hilgers, Colville, Larios, Gray, Larson, Somerville, Sarmiento, Baldacini, and Brozier. Beltran in goal, Travasos, Stroik, Bojan Kovacic. Are we missing a few signings here? Let me have a quick look. There is a few signings I've missed, just 2. Diego Travasos has come into the club. Very, very cheap wonder kid from Sporting. £2.5 million to be a backup right back. And Kovacevic, who I've just shown you for £5 million quid from Serbia, from Čakarčiki. Looks very, very good as well. Very good centre back and is our backup centre back. Back to the tactic. And we've got Firpo as the backup left back. Moscardo, Ampadu, Dan James, Tom Bischoff, Antonio Nusa, Tio Den Bugende, Lechero, Sonny Perkins, Roy Birchill, Rocco Simic, and Junior Zay. Roy Birchill is progressing very, very well. Hopefully, he can become a superstar for us. We've still got Jorginho Ruta here, Greenwood, Aronson, Montero, consistently trying to sell them all. Very, very difficult to sell. I believe we've had another wonder kid come through. We have his hopefully future DM partner for anyone that picks the save up on Patreon, Dylan Ellis, a Welsh CDM, £35 million value. He's brave, great teamwork. He's 5'6". To me, he seems perfectly Welsh. So Dylan Ellis and Tom Birchill could be a fantastic CDM partnership. Obviously, this season we're in the competitions of Champions League, FA Cup, Community Shield, because obviously won the FA Cup last year, Carabao Cup, and Premier League. A lot of games to play. I have got no doubt we're going to get Champions League again next season. And that is exactly what we went ahead and done, while also giving ourselves a very strong account in the Champions League, getting knocked out in the round of 16 by Real Madrid. Very happy with that. FA Cup knocked out in the 3rd round. We're disappointing, given we're on a, like a protecting your trophy, something like that. Carabao Cup, we got to the semi-finals and knocked out by Liverpool. We won the Community Shield, which is fantastic. And in the league, we come 5th on 68 points, but qualifying for the Champions League, as well as everyone else qualifying for Europe as well. Basically, half the league is in Europe now. Armando Brozier was 16 goals this season. 2nd place in that qualifying list for the top golden boot. Behind João Pedro is frustrating. 2nd place again. 14 goals and 13 for Baldacini. 9 and 3 for Sarmiento. 8 and 8 for Nusa is fantastic. Somerville 6 and 9. A little bit of a drop off, and again, he's just not quite progressing to that next level, as I always say, but he's here now and he's staying locked in for 5 seasons. I mean, so far for Leeds throughout his career, well, throughout everyone pretty much, but basically just Leeds, if we can do this, about 20 goals and about 15 assists in 100-ish games isn't fantastic, let's be honest. So maybe if you're doing a lead save, forget about Somerville. He's not as good as he is on FM as he is in real life. Colville was great this season and is an absolute superstar. And obviously the superstar we are all interested in, Archie Gray, has now had 3 caps for England and is an absolute superstar. Is ridiculous. Wants a brand new contract. Guess what, Archie? Have what you want. A value of £92 million. Again, if you're doing a Leeds career, which I imagine a lot of you are if you are watching this video, there's a lot of players here you can certainly be using. Meslier, keep him around. Archie Gray, use him. Somerville can be a fantastic squad player. In terms of Pascal Stroik, another fantastic squad player. Firpo played 33 games this season ahead of Juan Larios in Season 4. Use him, he's great. Ampadu, 42 games as a centre-back or a CDM. He can do both. He's brilliant. Dan James, 38 games, including bench games in Season 4, certainly can be used. And Sonny Perkins certainly deserves a shout out as well. Played 17 games overall this season, but I believe it was last season, or possibly in the season to come, maybe. Or maybe this season here, we scored 2 goals and got 3 assists in the Premier League. I didn't really touch on him. He's fantastic as well. Certainly someone to keep an eye out for if you are doing a lead save. And as I've said, we've been basically signing players and loaning them out this whole time. We are developing a very, very strong club. Lots and lots of wonder kids. Lots and lots of money in the bank, which is good again. £101 million. It helps qualifying for the Champions League, of course. And we are also improving these as we go as well. So the youth recruitment has gone up slightly, as has the youth facilities. Now 4.3 million social media followers as well. That's gone up a hell of a lot, which is something to keep an eye on, of course. Of course, lots of money to spend, 90 million, 30k in wage budget. We now need to take the next step. It is Season 5. If we want to win the league, we need to make some big signings. And they really don't come much bigger than brand new Barcelona superstar, Vitor Roque, this guy is unbelievable on Football Manager, and Barcelona have played him in a bit part role since he joined the club for £25 million from Atletico Paranaense. Of course, being a Barcelona's value, it has basically doubled at £50 million. So we've gone ahead and signed him to compete with Armando Broja. So we've pretty much got the two best wonder-kid strikers here at the club. He's consistent. He loves big matches. 3-star current ability, I guarantee you he's better than that. He's got a £99 million value, and he's going to be simply outrageous this season, I'm telling you right now. So Vitor Roque is in at the club. Backup centre-back is Kostas Kouliakaris, a Greek centre-back signed from PAOK, signing a different player that I've never really seen before. Obviously, Vitor Roque, everyone's seen. I'll try and give you someone different. This guy looks brilliant. 27 caps for Greece. He's got 15 heading, 12 marking, 12 tackling, great strength, great pace, and looks absolutely brilliant. So welcome big Kostas into the club. And an absolute superstar that I've signed is basically a Lionel Messi regen. It is Ezequiel Fernandez. This guy's been signed from the Vélez Academy in Argentina. He's got 16 acceleration, ridiculous pace, 19 agility, can dribble, can cross, can finish, great first touch. Great technique, 5'9", looks brilliant, signed for just £5.7 million. Of course, he's got 5-star potential. I wish I had the editor enabled because I'd actually look what this guy's PA is, but I actually can't, which is a shame. He looks absolutely outrageous, and hopefully he is going to be a superstar for anyone that picks us up on Patreon, and of course for this season as well. That is all we did in terms of signings. In terms of sales, we sold Pascal Stroke for £33 million to Wolves. We sold Ilya Gruev for £22 million to Al Nassr. Joe Goldhart left to Middlesbrough for £7 million. Alexandra Pantayu never really developed and sold for £1.5 million. And again, a whole host of loanees going out of the club as well. And again, the squad, as we run through it, looks very strong. Meslier, Wrench, Kovacevic, Colville. Salim Aradi is going to be our starting left-back, the guy we signed last season. Larson, Archie Gray, Somerville, Nusa, Baldacini, Vitor Roque, Beltran, Walters, Hilgers, Kouliakaris, Larios, Moscardo, Ampadu, Fernandez, Tom Bischoff, Jeremy Sarmiento, Armando Broja, Samuel Aquero, Sonny Perkins, Roy Birchall, Tian Den Begende. That is a big old good squad. Still some players looking to leave the club. Dan James is going to Fenerbahce for £10 million. Ruta is finally leaving for £10 million as well. I wish it turned out different, but he just didn't really hit the ground running for us, and he hasn't really for anyone else either, which is a bit of a shame because this guy in real life is fantastic. Season 5, it'll be great to see if we can win the Premier League. If not, it's not the end of the world. I have titled this, we're going to win the Premier League. I hope we're in Season 5, but if we don't, it's been a good run. 2 years in the Champions League, we'll take it. Well, I take it all back. I don't even need to title you in now. We've won the league. We've actually done it. And one of the lowest point scoring seasons the Premier League might have ever seen. 75 points was enough to win the Premier League this season, and we have seen the Premier League be extremely tight throughout this entire rebuild. We qualified for the Champions League with just 64 points a few seasons ago, and this season on 75 we have won the league. 2 ahead of Arsenal and Manchester United, 5 ahead of Manchester City, and Haaland only scoring 18 goals. Vitor Roque with 16 goals in second place is fantastic. I'm a little bit dumbfounded as to how this has happened, and it looks like as well, I looked through the schedule as we're coming up to this, we tried to bottle it in the last game of the season against Sheffield United, who I believe are a bit of a rivalry between Leeds and Sheffield United. We lost 3-0 the last day of the season to them, which is an absolute shame, but that wasn't the end of the world. So we have won the Premier League, which is a massive success, and I'm absolutely buzzing by that, of course. But I think I need to tell you guys, we took it one step further than just winning the Premier League in this rebuild. We gave Leeds their first ever Champions League as well, in a 95th minute goal, and an Armando Broja goal as well. In the 95th minute against Real Madrid, we won the Champions League, which is actually mental, and we actually dominated as well. We had a better XG, more shots, more on target, and the team that went out there and did it was Meslier in goal, Hilgers at right back, Salim Aradi at left back, Colville and Ampadu at centre back, Gray, Larson and DM, Somerville right wing, Sarmiento left wing, Baldacini in cam, and Vitor Roque up front. So Somerville and Gray and Meslier and Ampadu actually all started in a Champions League final for Leeds, where they won it. And they were all massive parts in the Premier League season where Leeds won the title as well. What a rebuild, I have to say. I mean, a quick breakdown of how players actually did this season. Vitor Roque, 21 goals, 7 assists. Baldini, 12 and 17. Somerville, 12 and 11. And a fantastic last season is exactly what we needed from him to go to that next level. His stats aren't showing it, but he's performing like it, and that is what matters. And the most important player we need to touch on is Archie Gray. Now, this guy's been locked in this team for this whole time. He has played 153 games, got 9 goals, and got 20 assists. But most importantly, let's have a look at this guy's progress. If we thread the attributes out all time, look at that progression. +4 leadership, +3 vision, +2s across the boards everywhere there, +3 concentration. His physicals have all gone up a whole bunch. His strength +4. This man can become anything you want him to do in midfield. Get him, use him if you're doing a lead save. He is simply ridiculous. That is the Leeds rebuild. We won the Champions League, we won the Premier League, we've won the FA Cup in 4.5 seasons as Leeds manager. It's simple. Get Kempi in and good things happen. If the first rebuild you have watched on this channel is this one, there is lots more in a playlist down there, so feel free to go ahead and watch them ones. Welcome to what I believe might be my most difficult rebuild of FM24, maybe of the whole entire game cycle. We are picking up Queen's Park Rangers, currently sitting 23rd in the Sky Bet Championship. Last season, you cast your mind back 12 months, they were top of the championship. Mick Beale was in charge and the Super Hoops were on a charge to the Premier League. Mick Beale left to the Scottish Rangers and everything went a little bit downhill. Gareth Ainsworth come in, and Queen's Park Rangers survived the championship literally just about. It was quite the fall from grace, and this season things have not gone to plan. Like I said, sitting 23rd in the league, and they've just sacked Ainsworth and brought in Spanish manager Martí Cifuentes. So today we're going to be trying to rebuild Queen's Park Rangers, and as you look through the squad, you'll very quickly realise why I believe this is going to be one of my hardest rebuilds today. If you look at the age profile, we've got a 32-year-old Steve Cook. Yes, that one. A 33-year-old Jack Colback. A 35-year-old Albert Adoma. In goal is Asmir Begovic. Very good goalkeeper, but 36 years old. The age profile of this squad is just simply horrendous. The money here at QPR is not great. There's £3.5 million in the bank. You've got no transfer budget. You've got no wage budget, which means for season number 1, we're making absolutely no signings. They've got Lyndon Dykes up front, who in real life can't hit a barn door sometimes for QPR. And I've been to quite a few QPR games myself, and he is one of the most frustrating players to watch in the world. This guy can be unbelievable, and he can get himself in some fantastic positions, and then will miss from 2 yards out. It is the most frustrating thing, but the Scottish number 9 is our striker for this season. We've got the Moroccan wonder kid, not even wonder kid, just whiz kid, Ilias Chair. This guy is fantastic. He's been at QPR now since 2016, and is really the Adel Tarabt 2.0 in a sort of way. The streets won't forget Adel Tarabt, and Ilias Chair being here at QPR is fantastic. Chris Willock, a fantastic central attack midfielder or winger, but can't stay fit, massively injury prone, not very consistent, and is a bit of a difficult player to get a tune out of. So hopefully we can get something out of big Chrissy Willock. Paul Smythe is here. Sam Field, to me, is a lower Premier League player DM. I think he's actually fantastic. FM doesn't rate him quite as highly as I do. And this guy is very, very good. He was linked with Burnley in real life in the summer and didn't end up going, staying at QPR. He is, I believe, the captain at this point. So yeah, Sam Field is looking very good, but might be collateral damage at some point to hopefully raise some funds. We'll see Jack Colback, Kenneth Power at left back, Jake Clark Salter, Stevie Cook, Reggie Cannon is a brand new signing at right back as well, with Begovic in goal. The backups, Archer, Jimmy Dunn, Andre Dazelle, Sinclair Armstrong is our wonder kid prospect. This guy is fantastic in real life, and again, I don't think FM quite rates him as highly as I do watching him and what I've seen him do to some defenders. He is outrageous. He's 6 foot. This, I don't know where his strength stat is, to be honest. Strength is 15. Yeah, that's probably about right, to be fair. His pace is electric. His finishing needs a little bit of work, but he's now got his first goal for the club in real life, and I think he's going to kick on. Morgan Fox is backup left back. Taylor Richards used to be at Brighton and was a very good prospect. How he's aged and not got very well. Stephen Duke McKenna is a good enough youngster as well. 22 years of age. He's got decent enough stats around the board, and I think the level of Duke McKenna on FM probably shows where we're at as a club, that this is one of our better players. Trent Randall, Aaron Drew, and Elijah Dixon-Bonner. So a lot of youth players that aren't quite up to the ability and haven't quite got the potential are here as well. Looking through the development centre, you can see, again, the potential is upper League One, lower as Championship, and it's it's a painful thing to see when there's not a lot of money at the club, a lot of older players, and already not the greatest youth system in the prospect. The actual predictions for the Championship this year with the season preview, we are in 20th, expected to just survive relegation. So we're going to go ahead and do the first season exactly how it is going in real life. Hopefully survive, that would be fantastic. And yeah, bring you back for the end of season 1. If we can get a tune out of them, things will go well, and that's exactly what's happened here in our save. We've got them into 13th, a mid-table Championship club, which I think all QPR fans would take this season. Just survival would be absolutely key, but 13th is a very good season. A -2 goal difference, but 15 wins, 15 draws, 16 losses, 60 points. Yeah, that's a pretty good season given the absolute mess that the club is currently in. But yeah, I mean, the board haven't really helped us too much. We've got £5 million in the bank, and at some points last season, we were -10 million. So they've given us a grand total of £1 million to go and spend in a wage budget of £12,500 as well. And things, trust me, don't get much easier. Asmin Begovic leaving the club. He was our standout player last season, 7.01 average rating. He conceded a lot of goals, but to be expected when the defence in front isn't the best. 48 games, 79 goals conceded, but was very good. He's out the door and leaving. I believe Jack Colback is retiring as well, which is simply fantastic. One of our better CDMs out of the door. Players that don't want to be here anymore. Jimmy Dunn, future captain in my eyes. He's a fantastic centre-back, needs to get back from injury and play him. Doesn't want to be here anymore. Sinclair Armstrong didn't play enough games, or does he want a new contract potentially? Wants a new contract, plays 17, 28 off the bench, 7 goals. Developed okay, but hasn't quite kicked on to what I'd hope in season 1, number 1. Steve Cook is aging very much so. 8 pace and 9 acceleration. Yeah, it's not going to cut it. Steve Cook has not been fantastic, but we haven't got the money to go and spend and to improve this squad. And like I said, the youth here doesn't fill me with confidence either. So really, this is a transfer window. I've got absolutely no idea what is going to happen. £1 million in the bank, no money to spend. We're probably going to have to make a big sale in terms of selling one of our better players to fund the rest of the team is what I think is going to happen. So let's see what goes on. Another 2 months down the line, is this team going to look better, worse, or are we pretty much just going to keep all the deadwood around because that's all we can do? So my game plan for this summer was to sell someone big. And like I mentioned, Sam Field for me is an top playoff Championship player, if not lower, Premier League centre defensive midfielder. And he is out the door. He has gone to Watford. We managed to get £4.5 million for him, which I think is a good amount of money. And it enables us to invest it all into the wage budget, which I get is entirely risky, especially with the finances that we are looking at. I mean, to be fair, we've done very well with the finances over the summer, but that was our big sale, and I think developing everything into wages means that we're going to be able to get some great players on a free contract. £4.5 million in transfer budget equates to a lot in wage money. So Sam Field, thank you for your service, my good friend, but you are out the door. And just to confirm as well, the retired players or the released players, Jack Colback ended up retiring as mentioned previously. Asmin Begovic also retired after not getting a new contract. I mean, we tried to offer him all the money in the world that we had, but he wasn't staying. So Asmin Begovic has also left the club. Elijah Dixon-Bonner has left the club on a free contract. Vanarama National League ability currently, so there's a reason that he was no longer sticking around. Andrew Dazelle, I think, is a very good player in real life, but we didn't decide to keep his contract. We wanted to try and improve the team a little bit, so Dazelle is out the door, and it probably says a lot that he's not become a new club in over a month of being gone, so there is that to say as well. But in terms of the players that really progressed last season, Stephen Duke McKenna last season was fantastic. He played 44 games, 5 goals and 11 assists as our starting winger alongside Ilias Chair and Chris Willock. Paul Smythe didn't quite get the game time, so he actually developed very nicely. So Stephen Duke McKenna is into the squad, and he says just here as a good League One player, good Championship player, his potential. But if he can keep progressing the way he is, and if he's a QPR lad, I mean, he was from, I believe, Everton, and QPR signed him quite some years ago, to fair, 2019. So he's been with the youth system now for about 4 or 5 years. So if we can make Duke McKenna a very good player, that would be good to see. Lyndon Dykes last season, I didn't really go through it, scored 17 goals, 41 appearances, was very, very good to be fair as our striker, and he was playing as an advanced forward as well, so impressive that Lyndon Dykes actually managed to go ahead and do anything. And in terms of transfers we've made this summer, we have actually not spent a single penny. The first signing is a loan signing of Lamar Bogade from Aston Villa. This guy looks very, very good. Dutch CDM, replaces Jack Colback for free. A loan signing which I think can do massive things for us. He was on loan in League One last season, had a good enough season. So he's going to step up to the Championship this year, and hopefully he's going to help us up to that next level. Some great stats, very well rounded, 6 foot tall, and is going to be just a ball winner to sit there and destroy. And like I said, everything else was a free contract. We decided to dip into the free market, put all of our money into wages, and that's exactly what we've done with Jensen, where he is a youngster from Brighton, 4-star potential, 3-star current ability, very similar to Arjo Dazelle with a bit more potential, I would say, a bit more of a creative midfielder like Arjo Dazelle is, and also got the energy as well, which is fantastic. So a good free signing there from Brighton in Jensen Veer. Lucas Bergstrom has come in to be our starting goalkeeper to replace Asmin Begovic. Now, being 6'8", a 19 area reach, 19 communication, 20 jump and reach, I just liked the sound of it in the Championship, having a keeper that can come out, claim the ball, and you haven't got to be worried about him getting outbeaten in the air. Or, I mean, Seny De Jong was a fantastic goalkeeper, but sometimes a little bit too small. We've gone the complete other way. Maybe not the greatest shot-stopping goalkeeper, but the tallest man you will ever see. So Lucas Bergstrom, a free contract from Chelsea, is in, currently 2.5-star ability, but hopefully he can do bits. We've done a brand new striker to compete with Lyndon Dykes, and his name is Joel Montero. This guy's from Young Boys in Switzerland. Again, some very well-rounded stats. Good finishing, good pace, good determination, very consistent, which is good to see. A little bit injury prone, but already a value of £9 million. Worst case scenario is sell him for 4 or 5 next summer to, again, just get some money back into the club, because that is the most difficult thing in this rebuild. 100% is the finances. So if we can just keep on top of that and grow this QPR zone at the same time, maybe at the end of this 5 years we can get into the Premier League. But you can see the career he's had. He's not been an absolute goal scorer everywhere he's been, but hopefully that can change here in England with Joel Montero. Joshua Squires has come in, just a free contract release from Southampton. Good enough potential, 3.5 stars. Going to sit as one of our backup midfielders. Papa Gay has come in. Now, this guy is an absolute steal. We've got him on £18,000 a week, which is quite expensive. He's not the greatest finisher in the world, but he is very energetic, which we're going to be playing a Gegenpress system, trying to be aggressive on teams, and he fits that absolutely perfectly. He's got great consistently, released from Marseille, and is fantastic. He's going to be literally brilliant this season. He gets forward whenever possible as well. Just hopefully he doesn't shoot, because he can't do that very well. But a very good left-footed midfielder has come in, and then a last-minute signing has come in as well. I was going to keep Duke McKenna as our starting winger for the whole season, but I got a little bit worried about his current ability at 2.5 stars. So Alexis Claude Maurice has come in. He's released from Nice in France. He's been at Lens last season as well, and a very, very good attacking winger. This guy is a little bit injury prone again, but extremely consistent, enjoys big matches, very good dribbling, very good pace. At 5'9", he really suits the sort of mould of the team with Ilias Chair, Chris Willock and himself. So the team is looking like so. Bergstrom in goal, Reggie Cannon at right back, Clark Salter and Jimmy Dunn as the 2 centre backs, with Kenneth Powell at left back. A half back in front with Bogard. Well, hopefully we're going to be playing more of a 3-3-2-1, a 5-3-2 effectively, or a 5-3, I can't think what it, a 5-2-3 is what I'm trying to say, with Bogard dropping into the middle centre back, Cannon and Powell bombing on, with Weir in midfield, again pure energy, with Ilias Chair as a Mezzala on attack in the centre, with dribble more and run wide of the ball, because Willock's going to cut inside as an inside forward on support, with roam from position and tackle harder. So again, with this nice positional play, we should see Powell bombing on, we should see Willock cutting in, and Chair be an option out here as well, with Claude Maurice on the right hand side as a winger on attack, with Montero down the middle with pass shorter and shoot more often. We've got Mahoney as the backup goalkeeper, Osman Kaikai, Steve Cook, Morgan Fox and Lacaresche as the backup defenders. Squires, Papagay and Taylor Rich as the backup midfielders, with Duke McKenna, Armstrong and Dykes, as well as keeping around at Albert Adoma. He's retiring next season, and I thought, you know what, we'll keep Big Unks at the club. He's not going to get much game time, but we'll give him his money. He's 3.5k a week. He can then retire nicely after this season. So Big Uncle Albert Adoma, if you don't know, is an absolute legend, and I get to know him on Instagram as well. He always uploads just ridiculous skills that you wouldn't think Albert Adoma would be able to do. He is an absolute techie baller. We're obviously in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup and the Championship this year, so let's get right into it. For season number 2, how have we done in rebuilding this QPR side? And of course, this is available for you guys on Patreon as well. A massive thank you to the Patreon members on screen right now. You are literally helping make my dreams come true of trying to make this a full-time thing in the future by supporting on Patreon. And you get these rebuild files down in the, down on the Patreon. They are obviously end of season 5, so at the end of the rebuild you can pick it up. But if you want from this point onwards, where I've done all these transfers, I do keep these save files for around a month all installed. So if you want to pick up from all my brand new signings, or if you want to just, you've stayed in the championship and want to build at the end of this real life season, I can send that to you as well. So if you do want to help support, Patreon down below is the best place to do it. And obviously you can get bits for it as well. So a massive thank you to anyone that does do that. You're absolute legends. But let's get back into it for season number 2. Well, hello. I posed the question of how did I actually rebuild QPR and how well did I do it? Very well, apparently. We come third. It's infuriating we did get promoted because coming third and not getting promoted is always very, very annoying. But maybe it would have been a season too early. But what a rebuild we've already kicked off here. Season number 2, we are in it as a playoff club, which they should have been last season. I genuinely think for QPR, the squad is there to be a mid-table championship squad. And I think what we've done by selling Sam Field, who is a fantastic midfielder, like I've said, and who's now got relegated, which is absolutely peak for him. How funny. That is how it worked out. We've switched roles completely. But like I said, with QPR, they very much are a mid-table club if you look at their squad. Ilias Chair, Chris Willock, defensively, they're very, very good, and Begovic is definitely a playoff goalkeeper. It's just sadly not gone well for them with Gareth Ainsworth, and I think it will get turned around, and I think we've shown that here as well by the quality of the squad. We were predicted this season with the signings that we made to finish in 15th, so again pretty much mid-table, but a massive overachievement. 91 points, 50 goal difference, 29 wins, 4 draws and 13 losses. Quite a way off Sunderland and Southampton at the top, but 1 point ahead of newly relegated Luton, 3 points ahead of newly relegated Sheffield United, and 10 points clear of Ipswich, who are going up to the Premier League. And the Cups we didn't do anything in. I'm not fussed about that at all. But in terms of our star performers this year, well, I locked in Ilias Chair to be the left centre mid of Metzala because I wanted him to play other games, and Jimmy Dunn to be a centre back to hopefully progress him. It didn't really work. He didn't really get that good, so we're going to stop that experiment. But Jimmy Dunn is an absolute legend. Lyndon Dykes, 30 goals and 7 assists. A fantastic season, and he's really not playing in a role that suits him at all. We've got him as an advanced forward, and he is bagging goals for fun. Ilias Chair, 15 goals, 12 assists is fantastic. João Montero, 13 goals, 4 assists as a backup striker. And like I said, he is now worth £9.8 million, and he's unhappy. He's alienated in his playing time. If we can get £9 million for him, absolutely fine. Papagay has 6 finishing, but scored 11 goals and got 8 assists, which is great. Duke McKenna, 9 goals, 18 assists. Jensen Veer, 8 and 11. Alex Claude-Maurice with 6 goals, 10 assists, and Chris Willock with 5 and 10. Definitely for Chris Willock again, it's a case of just not being fit enough throughout the season, but now wanted by Middlesbrough, hopefully. I mean, if we either sell him and get some money for him, or we can do bits from there. Reggie Cannon, fantastic again, 7.04. A real coup for QPR in real life, obviously released from Boa Vista in Portugal, but at FC Dallas, and it's quite a big name, Reggie Cannon, so 28 caps for the US national team is just fantastic, and the fact that he's gone there in real life sort of says the pull of QPR, and the fact that he believes in the project. £21 million in value, and in fact in finances things are looking quite good. £15 million in the bank right now, which is lovely to see. A £4 million transfer budget and 60k in wage budget, so the board believe we are close to getting promoted, so they're giving everything to us for this season, which is fantastic. And we've got Steve Cook retiring, we've got Osman Kaikai asking to leave, Kenny Powers wanted by Sunderland, who have just got out, which is going to be hard to keep him. Taylor Richards is asking to leave, Coley's asking to leave, Lyndon Dykes is wanted and potentially going to be leaving the club because he is good, but there could be a striker out there which does 10 times, well, twice as good. If we say 60 goals rather than 300 goals, someone could go out there and do that. I mean, he's got no pace, no finishing. Really, he is doing a job in a system that doesn't suit him at all. Respect to him, but hopefully we can improve it. We've got some good money. Let's go and see what we can do for season number 3. Well, I said that this could happen, and in fact, it has. £7.2 million in the door, and Lyndon Dykes is out of the club. I think that's a great amount of money to get for Lyndon Dykes. Like I said, Scottish number 9, so has certainly got some ability, but he just doesn't suit our style of play at all. And I think it's time to move on to a brand new striker. So to replace him as a loan signing, we'll sign Yusuf Shamiti. This guy is a fantastic wonder kid on FM, and Sporting last year on FM, he was one of the go-to wonder kids to go and sign. He's moved to Everton in real life and hasn't progressed very well over the last couple of years. Scored 4 goals and 15 for Millwall last season, so he's going to come in and be a backup striker to João Montero. Or is he? Because £9.75 million, João Montero is out the door as well. And we've raised £18 million in strikers that simply aren't very good and not good enough for us. And one of them was a free transfer last year. pretty much fits the same bill as Lyndon Dykes. 6'3", decent at finishing, decent enough pace, certainly better than Lyndon Dykes in my opinion, and if I was playing the games I'd have locked him into that striking position, but he's out the door, and I think we've raised a lot of money, and to replace him we've gone ahead and used one of our ESC spots. Now I don't know what an ESC spot is. This is news to me, whatever this is, but it seems like you can sign someone who doesn't get work permits. I think you can have 3 in your squad, which is awesome because it allows us to sign Sufnat Mwenta. This guy's a Thailand international striker. He is an absolute bagsman and suits our style of play to an absolute T. 14 finishing, 15 determination, 13 pace. This guy, if you've never used him on FM, he's sort of coming into the more mainstream FM this year. He looks fantastic, and we signed him for £1 million, and I'm absolutely buzzing to get Sufnat Mwenta in. And again, in terms of building a club, getting someone in who gives you massive financial attraction across the world like Sufnat Mwenta does in Thailand and in Asia, fantastic thing to do because you get more shirt sales. And obviously we spent all that money on a striker, only £1 million. We raised £18 million, which led us to go and sign one of the best young centre backs on the game in Ronnie Edwards. Now this guy cost us around £8.5 million, but look at him. 16 composure, great defensive work, good enough pace, builds out from the back and brings out defence, which is fantastic as a stat. And it's just 22 years of age, 155 games in the English leagues already, which is great. We've gone ahead and signed Alex Robertson on a free contract from Manchester City. There is a list that I've not released yet of the top 25 Asian and Oceania wonder kids, and both him and Sufnat Mwenta are both on that list, and we're going to see some African ones as well, which again I've not released just yet, but they are coming out very soon. Alex Robertson looks fantastic. 16 long shots, great passing and great pace, a free contract, and when I saw his name I was like, that's the guy from the list, and it is him. He looks fantastic, great potential, great consistency, potential to be a good Premier League player, so he is going to go in very nicely alongside Ilias Chair. Will the Fish has come in from Manchester United. He's got potential to be a decent Championship player. Right now as a League 2 centre-back, but is purely a rotation / very much a backup option. He's been on loan at Hibernian for the last couple of years in real life, and now he's going to be a backup here at QPR. Great heading on him. Georgie Dobson has come into the club. He's a DM from Charlton who is there's a bit of like I quite like George Dobson, all right? He's very brave, great leadership, great teamwork, great work rate. That is what you want in a DM, great aggression. He's an aggressive, ratty CDM, 6'1". I believe he's the captain of Charlton as well, so that leadership is going to come in very helpful for this quite young QPR side. Now, George Dobson is going to be a backup DM, but he's now here at QPR and on a free contract again. It's an absolute no-brainer. Odell Afia has come in on a free contract from Brighton. Again, very much a backup right back to Reggie Cannon. We didn't want anyone too good to come in, and he looks a little bit scary in this picture because Reggie Cannon is so good, and Odell is not going to get upset at his game time. So that's who we brought in for that position. Malcolm Ebewowi has come in on loan from Crystal Palace last season, played 34 games for Cardiff and our save, and is a good enough pacey winger to get balls in the box and to drive in and set up cutbacks, etc. So that is what he's there for. He's not the greatest finisher in the world, but great dribbling, great pace, great flair. Hopefully he can be a tricky little winger for us. And I believe that is it in terms of signings. The last sale I'm going to go through is Osman Kaikai. He's at the club to go to Shrewsbury, hence the signing of the backup right back Odell Afia, because we needed someone's backup to Reggie Cannon. The tactic is looking like so. We've changed it ever so slightly to hopefully get the best out of the team. Bergstrom in goal, Cannon, Dunn, Edwards and Powers the back five. Papa Gay as the half-back in DM, Weir and Robertson as the two midfielders, with Chair on the left, Willock on the right, and Sufnat Mwenta up front. The backups of Joe Walsh, Odell Afia, Jake Clark-Salter, Will Fish, Morgan Fox, George Dobson, Duke McKenna as sort of the Metzala backup, Tyler Richards, Ebewowi, Claude Maurice, and Yusuf Chamiti. We have certainly got some very good young players in this squad. And again, I showed you at the start, the age profile was an absolute mess here at QPR. We have fixed that now. We haven't got too many ridiculous youngsters. We've got 22 years of age as our youngest player that we actually own, and 31 as our oldest. So a very mid-20s club, which is fantastic to see. Development centre, there's not a lot going on, to be honest. No one really of high potential in the under-21s. Under-18s, they've produced a few 4-star potentials, but again, nothing massive. If you actually look at the club info, the finances here are okay. The training facilities are pretty naff. The media predicting us to come 9th this season. Last season we predicted to come 15th and come 3rd. So predicted to come 9th. Can we get in the playoffs again? Well, yes, indeed we can. And you join me in the playoff final. We've beat Pie Faces Plymouth 3-1. The fact Plymouth versus QPR is here in season 3 only of a rebuild playoff final was absolutely ridiculous. John Duran scoring there for Plymouth. Odelphia down the right-hand side, flames Nestori Irankuda, who we signed in January. I'll show you him in just a second. Sets it back to Yusuf Chamiti, who scores to make it 2-1 in the 120th minute. The Thailand international Safnat Mwenta is going to go ahead and make things 3-1 and get QPR promoted to the Premier League. It's taken us 3 seasons, which is not a short amount of time, but given what's going on in real life, I think that is very, very good. We actually finished this season with one of our a much worse point tally than last season, 74 points, and we were the Crystal Palace last season, and this season we're the Ipswich. So it's quite funny how that's worked in back-to-back seasons. Norwich and Luton going up. Palace are in the Europa Conference League, which must mean they've won the Carabao Cup. I need to just, yeah, they have. Good luck, Palace. Conference League and Championship in one season is absolute hell. Yusuf Chamiti with 20 goals this season, and we were very, very good this season again. Now, let me quickly just show you Nestori Irankuda. I signed him in January because as I was making this, he has joined Bayern Munich in real life, and again, he's on that Asian Oceania Wonder Kids list, and he looks absolutely ridiculous, doesn't he? He's 18 years of age as you start. He's very, very quick. Great dribbling, finishing, flair, determination. 9 games, 10 off the bench, 3 goals, 2 assists. He's at Adelaide on our save to start off with. Obviously, he's moving to Bayern Munich in real life, so I'm sure that update will come out very soon. But Nestori Irankuda, get him while you can because he's going to be very, very expensive in the future. And his highlights in real life as well are pretty outrageous. So we went ahead and signed him in January. Goals-wise, 20 goals for Yusuf Chamiti, 18 for Safnat Mwenta, 15 and 12 assists for Elias Chair, 13 and 6 for Malcolm Mbawe, 11 and 11 from Alex Robertson is great, 10 and 7 for Papa Gay, 3 and 2 for Nestor Nkuda, and the goals drop off massively. 11 assists for Reggie Cannon down the right-hand side again is fantastic. And just this season, in general, with our stats, with the 3rd most goals scored, joint 2nd on 100, and our goals conceded, we conceded 64. So we're a very fun team to watch, I would say. Lots of goals in our games, and 54% possession is very, very helpful to go ahead and help us do that as well. For the Premier League season, of course, the board have given us quite a lot of money. £39 million to spend, £200,000 in wage budget. I'm going to try and be quite clever because there's only £1 million in the overall balance, but obviously we are going to get, is it 85 million in TV revenue? So I think we've fixed QPR's finances, 30 million in net debt. Hopefully we can clear over the next few over the next few years, which would be good, so I can give this save to you at the end of season 5 with no debt. Hopefully some very, very good wonder kids still at the club, and maybe even a solidified Premier League side. So we've got 2 seasons to go and do our Premier League transfer window. How are we going to do? The media have got absolutely no hope in us whatsoever. Predicted last 800 to 1. Can we do a Leicester? Probably not doing a Leicester, let's be honest. But yeah, the media think we are rubbish this season, which is interesting because I think we've done some very, very good business. And the first piece of business we've done is sold Alexis Clauberis to Al Raid for £8 million, which again I think is fantastic financial business from us. Brought him in on a free contract, was decent in the first season, a backup last season, £8 million to Saudi Arabia. Thank you very, very much. If you're not utilising the Saudi Arabia tax, what are you doing? Go ahead and do it. Sander Berge has been brought in as our halfback. This guy is a fantastic player in real life at Sheffield United. Looks decent at Burnley now as well, but pretty much a backup throughout his whole time at Burnley on this save, and moved to Wolves and done nothing again. So we've brought him in to be a halfback on defend. He's very consistent, very good in big matches as well. A value of just £5 million. We paid £1 million for Sander Berge, so hopefully he can be a very, very good holding DM for us. Now the cover star, this is the most ridiculous signing I've ever made. Gift Orban is fantastic on FM. He is, again, he's on the African Wonder Kids list. If you've never seen this guy, go and watch the Zealand video on him. I think I've said it now, but I think I signed him in the Everton rebuilder, right, as well, because I'm in love. He's so good. 16 dribbling, 15 finishing, 17 flair, great pace, great determination, and is hopefully going to be a massive step up on our current strikers. Now, Safnat Mwenta signing for just £1 million was a bargain. £11 million for this man is quite simply ridiculous. Gift Orban, please come and save our job. An absolute hero. Axel Tuanzebe has been brought in for £12.5 million from Ipswich. This guy, Manchester United prospect, looks fantastic. Very injury prone. He's got that little orange tag against him on FM as well. But if this guy could stay fit, he would be in United's team right now rather than Johnny Evans. Let's be honest, he is fantastic. Very good pace, just very well rounded. Look at the stats. He's absolutely brilliant. Axel Tuanzebe is in for £12.5 million. £3.5 million for Marquinhos, not the centre back from PSG, but the youngster, the Brazilian from Arsenal. Great pace, great dribbling, great first touch, great determination, great flair. Pretty much a backup his whole career. He's been on loan at Nantes and then at Sunderland, nothing at Arsenal, and is now going to come here and hopefully sort of put himself onto the English stage and be the player he could be in real life, because he's got some fantastic potential. And in terms of the last signing we made is another midfielder, and one that isn't needed at all. We've got Elias Chair and Alex Robertson to do the attacking midfield roles, but Gus Till on a free contract from PSV, a value of £53 million. And yes, he was free, is quite simply the best business I've ever done in my life. He is one of the most well-rounded midfielders on the game. He can play in cam. If you have loads of injuries, he can play up front. He's great finishing, great ability, 6 foot tall. And for a free contract was just way too good to turn down. It leaves our squad looking very, very strong. Bergstrom in goal still from the very, very start. Cannon, Tuanzebe, Edwards and Powell. Cannon and Powell still in the team from the start here in the Premier League. Berge as backup, or as the halfback, sorry. Till and Robertson in midfield. Aaron Kuda as the right wing. Ilias Chair, of course, still here on the left wing, and Gift Orban up top. Joe Walsh is now a backup Premier League goalkeeper. If you're watching, Joe, you're a hero. Odell Offia, Jimmy Dunn, Clark Salter and Morgan Fox. 3 players, well, 4 in the back 5 backups that are there in real life. Georgie Dobson is now backup Premier League CDM. Papagay and Jensen Vera, 2 very good midfielders to be backups. Marquinhos, Jude McKenna, Safnat Mwenta, Will Fish, Chris Willock and Sinclair Armstrong is still here at the club. Last season we loaned him out to Stevenage to go ahead and get some game time. He did barely decent, so he's going to stay around as a backup this season. But again, it's disrespectful just how much this guy doesn't grow. He's already in the Irish team in real life. FM, please fix Sinclair Armstrong. He's an absolute baller. But that is the transfers for season 4. We spent around £38 million, sold £8 million, so spent about £30 million, which is very, very good business for your first season in the Premier League. It's not too stupid, so hopefully we can go ahead and solidify ourselves this season. Safety is all we want. If we come 17th on 20 points and we survive, I couldn't care less. Let's go ahead and do it for season 4. And that is pretty much exactly what we've done. 38 points, coming 16th, 4 clear of relegation. I couldn't care less. We're safe in the Premier League, which is fantastic. A negative 19 goal difference isn't even that bad. It means defensively we were quite good. And what is it with rubbish teams winning the Carabao Cup as well? City have now won the league in way too many in a row to even count. They are an absolute joke on in real life as well as FM, which is sad to say. But we are 16th in the Premier League. We are safe in the Premier League for the first season. Obviously, we've got to be wary of second season chaos. We've got £46 million to go ahead and spend. And Gift Orban was just fantastic this season. 18 goals and 2 assists. Pretty much single-handedly kept us in the Premier League this season. Gus Till, as a free contract, was an absolute bargain as well. 10 goals and 8 assists. 9 goals from Ilias Chair. 4 and 2 from the backup Safnat Mwenta. 3 and 2 from Alex Robertson. 3 and 4 from Marquinhos. 2 and 5 from Big Axel Tuanzebe. 1 and 4 from Nestori Iran Kuda. Ronnie Edwards with a goal and no assists, which is fair enough, I suppose, as centre-back. And 3 assists for Kenneth Powell. Reggie Cannon, I can't see. Only 3 assists this season is quite a drop-off, but still a very, very good right-back, and shows what a quality signing this is in real life as well. And the team as a whole just looks fantastic. It's such a big improvement. If I pick it by the best 11, what the game thinks, it's just fantastic, isn't it? We're in DM, Till, Robertson, Powell, Salter, Tuanzebe, Cannon, Bergstrom, Marquinhos, Chair, Orban, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful sight to see QPR in the Premier League and not being absolutely rubbish and coming last by millions. We have done very well in terms of finances, £53 million in the bank. The debt is now 0. We've fixed them. QPR are fixed. I don't know how we've done it in just 4 seasons, but we have. And there is no editor going on. There is no tomfoolery happening in here, because what is the point in releasing a rebuild video with any tomfoolery going on? Absolutely none, in my opinion. So it is a completely legit thing that we have done here. In 4 seasons, we have turned QPR's fortunes around, and we're looking fantastic. So a lot of money to spend for season 5. I'm not sure how much we're going to go ahead and spend, because I do actually really like the squad. So we'll see what we do for season number 5. Well, I didn't want to financially cripple us, because obviously this save is available for you guys on Patreon after this season. So I thought there was no point in rebuilding, getting all the debt gone, and then completely killing the club for season number 5. So we had a net spend of just £15 million, which was helped by the sale of Safnat Mwenta for £14 million to Al Qasaida as well. I think these are in Saudi as well. well. Yes, they are. And keep buying my players, please, for the rest of FM, because it helps with these rebuilds very, very much. Very good player for us. 70 games in the end for QPR, 17 goals. If you haven't used him again, go and use him. He is absolutely fantastic. But £14 million was way too good to turn down, as was £12 million from Al-Awada in the United Arab Emirates for Papagay. So he is out the door as well. Meaning £25 has been 25 quid. Jesus, that would be a very poor piece of business. £25 million has been raised for us. And the first order of business was to improve Lucas Bergstrom and go ahead and sign one of the best wonder-kid goalkeepers in the game. Guilherme Orestes from Strasbourg from Toulouse, has come in. He's been at Strasbourg in his career here. And again, you guys have probably signed this guy. He's fantastic. He is an Alban Lafont regen, 22 years of age, very consistent, great determination, reflexes, just a fantastic well-rounded keeper, and cost us £25 million, so was the main signing of the summer, but is well worth it, and as is a proper half-back on defend, Ethan Ampadu. This guy has moved to Leeds in real life, and in our career, 146 games for Leeds, so much more experience under his belt now, which got me to get him, because quite simply, his stats are great. Great bravery, anticipation, composure, marking and tackling, which as a halfback, being able to defend as well as bring the ball out is absolutely key. So he is in as our halfback on defense. So a very good signing. Judson Sutbell has been brought in as a backup winger / striker. Great pace, great finishing, great determination. A free contract had been released from Spurs, done well at Blackpool last season, 13 goals in 40 games. And for us, it's going to be fantastic. Juan Larios has been brought in to compete with Kenneth Powell at left back. Wonder kid from Southampton, released from Man City a few years ago, picked up by Southampton. And how good does he look? Great acceleration, great pace, and great crossing and dribbling stats as well. So Juan Larios is also in, as well as our final signing, and one for myself as a United fan, Hannibal Medjbury as a free contract, a free signing yet again. Great stamina, great aggression, great determination, great work rate. A midfield of him and George Dobson would be absolutely dangerous, but we love it. And Hannibal is in as well as midfielder, very consistent, loves big matches, just a little bit aggressive, and he has to tone that down in real life quite a bit, otherwise he's going to get himself in trouble a lot. So Hannibal Medjbury is also into the club, and again this season the media are predicting us to come down in last place, 800 to 1, and last by quite some distance. Again, I think our squad is very, very good. If we go through the actual whole team and again pick it by its best 11, it's looking very, very strong. We've got Restes in goal, Cannon Tuanzebe, Beck Sorensen, who we didn't go through, was on a free contract, I don't know where he got to, but Mads Beck Sorensen is a centre back. I missed him somehow. He looks absolutely fantastic. Great long throws, jumping reach, and defensive attributes as well. As we moved on to Midtjylland on our save, and then we signed up on a free contract. So bargain again. Apologies, we missed that one. So Restes, Cannon, Tuanzebe, Beck Sorensen, Larios, Ampadu, Gustil, Robertson, Marquinhos, Chair, and Orban. With Bergstrom, Offia, Clark Salter, Ronnie Edwards, Kenneth Powell, Sander Berge, Hannibal, Jensen Veer, Arancuda, Judson Sutbell, Sinclair Armstrong, Joe Walsh, and Will Fish here at the club. 5 seasons in. Can we survive in the Premier League again? So we leave this on the best possible way for you guys to pick up. Well, of course we can. Pretty much absolutely no improvement on last season. 36 points, a negative 31 goal difference, which anything is worse. But we take it and we move. Norwich have done it again and won another competition, which is wild to me. We've been useless in the cups in this save, but to be honest, the league is very much what I was concentrating on. Liverpool have broken the Manchester City duck as well, which is fantastic. It's Liverpool have won, so why am I even happy? I don't know. £57 million in the bank again. Lots of transfer budget. No pretty much debt at all, 29 grand in transfer debt. So we have absolutely smashed it with this QPR rebuild. In terms of players doing bits, Orban, Gustil, Nestor Arancuda started to come into things this season. Sunset Bell, Hannibal, and the average ratings wise, Sinclair Armstrong when he played was very, very good. Marquinhos was very, very good with lots of assists. But Gift Orban really is the superstar. 17 goals. Build this club around him. He's a Nigerian striker, absolutely fantastic. And again, if you haven't watched the Zealand video, the story of this guy is simply fantastic, so go and give that a watch. But if you don't want to watch Zealand and you want to carry on watching Kempi for the greatest Football Manager content on the platform, go ahead and watch this one. It should be my started and completed FM in Malaysia, and it was an absolute banger of a video and a very different video from myself as well. So if you haven't watched that one yet, go and watch that one. It's a banger. Thank you for watching. I'll speak to you next time. In the early 1900s, there was a dominant side in England. It was Sunderland with 6 trophies in 30 years. They really were one of the best clubs in England at that time. And since then, no other trophies. And it's got a little bit downhill. Early 2000s, Sunderland were a mid-table Premier League club for as long as I can really remember, until they dipped down all the way into League One in just 2018, 2019. In the last 3 or 4 years, there has been a resurgence. One of the biggest clubs in England with a massive stadium, the Stadium of Light, a massive fan base as well in the northeast of England. Sunderland are back into the Championship and are back competing for playoffs. They have signed a whole host of absolute superstar wonder kids already in real life, like one of the best players in the world's little brother, Jobe Bellingham. And today, we're going to be doing a Sunderland rebuild. We're going to be signing bargain wonder kids under 10 million for 5 years and seeing how far we can take this Sunderland side. Can we take them to the top of the Premier League, Europe, or just a mid-table Premier League club? That is all to come in a 5-year bargain wonder kids Sunderland rebuild. So as I mentioned, there's already thousands of wonder kids at this Sunderland team that are fantastic. 5-star potential throughout the whole entire club. There's got to be 10 players here alone with 5-star potential, which is absolutely wild for a Championship club, because that means they're pretty much set for the Premier League already if they can keep hold of these players. The age profile of the squad, majority under 23, and that is without me coming in and doing my own FM Wonder Kid rebuild. So you could say we'll call it there, shall we? Because we've got the wonder kids we need already. We just have to build this club up. The finances here at Sunderland are okay. £10 million in the bank and a £5 million debt, which isn't too bad, to be honest. Just £5 million in the bank, pretty much, which isn't a lot and is a little bit worrying given we're spending £280,000 of wage budget. So we're going to get through that quite quick. So I think first order of business is to get promoted. Now, we have built a tactic which I think looks very, very good on paper. We've got Patterson in goal, who is a 23-year-old English goalkeeper. So we're pretty much set there, because for under 10 million, we're not going to find much better than Andy Patterson. We've got Trey Hume, a 21-year-old Northern Irish right back. We've got Dan Ballard, who is a 23-year-old Northern Irish centre back. We've got Triantis, who's an Australian centre back, who looks fantastic. 5-star potential on him as well. Dennis Kirkin, a left back from Ireland, looks fantastic. Luke O'Neill is one of the older players in the squad and looks brilliant. He's an aggressive little defensive midfielder, 5'10". When I say little, I don't mean little in size. It's just a word. Jobe Bellingham, he is a little boy at this point. He is 17 years of age, and his brother is probably the best player in the world at the moment. And we'll see after 5 years, can we make Jobe that player? Can we even reunite Jude and Jobe? I highly, highly doubt it, especially for under £10 million. I don't know why I even said that, because we've got our own Jude right here. He looks fantastic, and we're going to progress him to be one of the best players in the world, hopefully, at the end of this 5 years. Dan Neil was a 21-year-old central midfielder as well, looks decent. Patrick Roberts was so tipped to be one of the best wingers in the world when he was a youngster. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he came through Celtic and went to City, and it never really worked out for him. Jewison Benete is a Costa Rican winger with pure speed, great dribbling and crossing, and can hopefully whip balls into the box for our current deep line forward of Bradley Dack. Now, I'm not sure if Bradley Dack is actually going to play as a deep line forward. In fact, I'm almost guaranteeing you right now that Rusian is going to start up front for us, because he is the much better striker. 13 finishing, 12 first touch, 24 years of age, decent enough pace, and hopefully he can come in, link up the play between the inside forward, the winger, the Mezzala. Hopefully we're going to see some very good tactical play from this Sunderland side. And for the first season, we're not making any transfers whatsoever. We are predicted to come down into 8th place in the Championship, so playoffs would be a fantastic achievement. I think it's probably too early to get promoted, but if we get promoted, we'll sort that out when we get there. But like I said, this is a bargain-only Wonder Kid rebuild. We cannot spend more than 10 million on one player. So throughout this video, you're going to find Wonder Kids that you might never have heard of, which will completely change your club. So stick around to see what Wonder Kids we sign. But let's get into it. How are we going to get on for the first season? Well, it was playoff heartbreak for Sunderland in season number 1, where Blackburn beat us on penalties after winning 3-0 at Ewood Park, after we won 3-0 at the Stadium of Light, which is a little bit frustrating. A Corey Evans red card certainly didn't help us out, but it looks like we're not getting promoted this year. But it does mean we make the playoffs, and where we come in the league is 6th place, 74 points, a 16 goal difference is certainly not bad. And top goal scorer, Nazari Rusin. Like I said, this guy does look very good. He looks quite average, to be honest, but apparently he bags goals for fun. So very good to have a striker that likes to score goals in. Looking through the rest of the squad, how did everyone do? I mean, Jobe Bellingham is now a 3.5-star player with 5-star potential. Looks like he is progressing progressed very, very nicely in attributes over the year. Yeah, and that is a lovely little up graph. That is only the month as well. So you can see down here the upgrades through him are brilliant, and we're going to hopefully see that all time. There's going to be a number of 5s, a number of 6s, a lot of lovely things we're going to see through Joe Bellingham's career, and he has been locked in at the centre mid role. 12 goals and 13 assists is a fantastic season for Joe Bellingham, and of course he is pretty much the star of this rebuild, and he'll be used a hell of a lot, as is Juerson Benete. Now this guy played 24 games, 11 off the bench, 7 goals and 6 assists, which for a 19-year-old Costa Rican of 5'9" in the Premier in the Championship, one of the most sort of aggressive, strength-needing leagues in the world of just 9 strength. He's done very, very well there. He's a little bit inconsistent and injury-prone, which does scare me. So we'll see what we can get out of Juerson Benete over the whole year. But in terms of the rest of the team and how we scored all our goals, Mazari Nruzin is that guy. Patrick Roberts with 13 and 8 as well. Jack Clark, another hotly tipped wonder kid when he was at Leeds, I want to say, way back when in 2017. That season there was a breakout year for him. Spurs bought him for 10 million and he pretty much went downhill. He's now here at Sunderland, and last season 9 goals and 45, and this season for us 11 in 42. So a very good season from Jack Clark. We've got Adil Adiouche as well. We scored 2 goals and got 4 assists, played 31 games including games on the bench, and he is a fantastic young French midfielder who already has a value of £12 million. So the value in this club is ridiculous. Pierre Ekwa is a French CDM, again, who looks very, very good, had a very, very good season. The best player this year, no surprise, Ruzin, Roberts and Ekwa. So a very, very strong season. Money-wise, we've got £9 million to go and spend and 10k on wage budget. Finances wide, we obviously dipped into the red because of our high wage budget, but with the competition, we are now £37 million in the bank, which is fantastic. Debts wise, there is nothing at the club. So we are a free reign. We are a rich club with lots of money to go ahead and spend, but obviously only 10 million per player. So let's see what we can do. Let's see who we can sell, because there's a lot of players here with a lot of value that aren't going to make it here at the club. I mean, for example, Tim from Pabella looks fantastic. Nectar Triantis hardly played this year and has a value of 17 million. Jack Clark, 17 million, I would take it. Dan Neil, 17 million, I would take it. I would take 17 million for anyone but Joe Bellingham. He's the only person that is staying guaranteed. The rest, if we get anywhere above 10 million for the Championship, you have to accept. So let's see who's out the door and who's in the door for Season 2. We have brought in £28 million worth of money in the Championship, which is outrageous, and that is mainly through Dan Neil, who left to Wolves for £20 million. And this guy looks very, very good, 22 years of age. And I'm sure Sunderland fans watching this are shouting at the screen saying, how on earth you sell Dan Neil? £20 million you have to accept. And Wolves have taken him from us. And it's a bit of a shame because I'd like to have progressed him alongside Joe Bellingham. But Dan Neil is out of the club and out the door. And I'm not that upset because £20 million is fantastic. And £8 million for Dan Ballard, again, I think is quite a good piece of business for ourselves. He's 24 years old, so I don't think he's going to progress too much more. £8 million. He played 43 games last year on a 6.85, but I think we can find better centre-backs for cheap. He's very aggressive, very brave, and a very good centre-back, but he has also gone now for £8.5 million to Norwich. And Nectar Triantis has left the club on loan to Oxford because I think this guy can be him. He is a 5-star potential player, potentially Premier League, and I think he needs to just get some game time. Oxford are promoted into the Championship, so he's going to be playing against us this season, but hopefully Big Nectar can whip out the honey and be good for us this season. In terms of incomings, we're going to kick things off with bringing someone back to the club. This is a loan deal because he is simply too expensive, but he ripped it up in the Championship last season. In real life, it's Amad Diallo. This guy for Sunderland was fantastic. You can tell I'm a Manchester United fan, but I've got family who are Sunderland fans, and my God, do they absolutely love this guy for what he did in that season in the Championship. I watched a lot of games with him, a lot of highlights, and he was outrageous. So hopefully Amad can take Sunderland back to the top. Now, I don't think we'll be able to buy him, which is a massive shame because the value of £30 million is way out of our price range. Hopefully, like what normally happens, his contract runs out at Manchester United and we can pick him up. But it does look like he's actually not going to do that because our contract till 2028 maybe sets things a bit more difficult. But who knows? Maybe we'll see Amad in a few years' time. But for now, he's here on loan and hopefully hopefully is going to absolutely smash it for us. An £8 million Australian centre-back signing to go next to the other Australian guy when he comes back off loan is Alessandro Schalke. This guy is at Udinese in real life, and for £8 million, for me, is a much better centre-back than Dan Ballard. He's 4 years younger and looks fantastic. And again, you have to get these players in cheap and early, because otherwise they're going to be around £40 million. So Alessandro Schalke is the man I brought in. He's consistent. He's 6'3". He can play up from the back, and his defensive stats are fantastic. So we're glad we've got him in. Thierry Small has been brought in to be our backup left back. 500k from, I believe, Southampton isn't a bad deal. 19 years of age. It looks okay and a good enough backup for the Championship. So I'm glad we've got him in. We've signed the striker, which I think is going to be our striker for the year and maybe for the next 5 years as well. It's Nelson Viper. Now, if you guys played FM last year, you know this guy was fantastic last year. I haven't used him on this FM. I've got no idea how Nelson Viper turns out, but the 6'4" German striker is going to come into this Sunderland side and absolutely smash it, I hope. 17 determination, great speed, 13 finishing, 11 composure, 13 dribbling, 13 first touch. Hopefully he can grow. He played 9 games for Mainz last season in Germany. He was signed for £2.5 million. So again, I'm telling you, bargain wonder kids galore in this rebuild. So stick around, because there's going to be a hell of a lot more of them. Nelson Viper looks fantastic for us. Stan Mills has been brought in on loan from Everton. He played 43 games for Oxford last season out on loan. And for us, he's come in and he's going to be a rotational winger option. It was him or Ahmad. I decided to get both, because why not have the numbers, especially on loan where we can't really get too stung by them not playing. So Stan Mills is here. Wisdom and Don is a guy I've signed from Nigeria. This guy is from Aqua United. I signed him for £300,000. He can't put my scouting because I've got scouting set up, which I'll show you in just after the rest of these signings, at how I find these players. Wisdom and Don looks fantastic. Great header, marking and tackling, jump and reach at pace. We used our ESC slot on him because he's already 2.5 star ability and a potential of 4.5 stars. So Wisdom, hopefully you can come in and be a very strong centre back for us. We've got Julio Chirpa on a free contract as well. And again, this guy looks decent, good enough potential, currently a good League One player. I saw the finishing and I didn't see all of his stats, and we couldn't afford, well, I didn't really want to go out and scout him. So I just took a gamble and he looks quite good, to be fair. Again, we used an ESC slot on him because we have quite a lot of them available in the Championship. So we've gone ahead and got him in. So Julian Chirpa is also in. And in terms of our scouting and how we do things, I have recruitment focuses that I use for pretty much all of my rebuilds and all of my saves. I'll go through and show you. I'll go through and show you them all now. So 15 to 21 years old, looking for Europe players playing in Europe. 1.5 star current ability, 4 star potential ability, any position from tactic, and that is pretty much what you're going to go ahead and do. Now you're going to drop it ever so slightly for the continents that don't quite have as good wonder kids normally come through. I mean, this is quite high for Africa. I'd probably drop that to 0.5 star current ability, 3 star potential ability, see who comes up. You've then got the North Americas, same again, 1 star but 3.5 star current ability, and you just sort of will find players that are good for your club. South America, 2 star current, 4 star potential, because there's a lot of good wonder kids in South America. But pretty much that is all I do. If you set it to continents, then you often find a lot better players come through. So if you've got areas, choose an area, continent, and you choose from here, you will often find players come through a lot more through doing that than just setting 15-21 and send your scouts out, because they're never going to get anywhere. Scouting range has to be set to the world as well, so you have a little bit of money in the bank for that one. And that is how I find all my wonder kids, and you're going to see us find a lot of players from all over the world using that this year. Obviously this year in the Championship we are predicted to come in 6th place, so we are a little step better. Leeds are 1-91 champions. Can we beat Leeds to the title? I don't think so. But can we do bits in the Championship this season? I hope so. We want to be in the Championship and the Premier League next season, so let's get into it. And yes, we have done it. We have beaten Sheffield United in the finals of the playoffs. A goal from, not from Joe Bellingham, but a deflection falling to Clark to make things 1-0 before we're going to see Sheffield United come up the other end and score. You saw Kobe Mainoo in the team there. He was very good in real life last night as I record this for Manchester United. He has got a red card and he's going to give us a fantastic chance of getting through the playoff finals, because Ahmad is going to find a ball in behind to Rusian to make it 2-1 before Sheffield United come back with a corner from Grev whipping it in and a backstick header from McBurney. Absolutely classic. But at the 83rd minute, we're going to show our class. Pembele, Ahmad linking up. Pembele gets it in. Rusin with the shot on goal, and it's 3-2, and we win the playoff finals, which is absolutely fantastic. It's something we needed to do this year. We needed to get promoted. We were 6th last year. We were actually 6th this year as well. So back-to-back 6th places is decent. We come about where we were predicted, but we've done very, very well. We were quite a way off Leicester and Burnley. Leeds, actually, after being 1-91, We finished a point behind them. We were level on points with Luton, who will be absolutely fuming that we've got promoted because it could have quite easily be them. Just 1 point in it and 6 goals. We have snuck through and we are now into the Premier League, which is absolutely fantastic. And the board have given us £40 million, which of course we can't spend on one player, but we can certainly spread throughout the club. And in terms of standouts this year, my God, did I wish I didn't put the rules on about Amad Diallo. 16 goals and 17 assists. He is simply ridiculous if he gets game time on this game. He's now got a value of £50 million, so we're probably never going to see Amad again here in this rebuild, but it was nice to bring Amad back to Sunderland for one whole season. Joe Bellingham, 6 goals and 5 assists, 49 games. He's progressing very, very well. Timothy Pembele, 4 goals, 8 assists, 24 goals and 7 assists for Nelson Viper. And remember, I picked this guy up for £2.5 million, and he is that good. He is fantastic on this year as well. Adil Adoushi had a much better season this season, 10 goals, 13 assists in 36 starts. Jack Clark, again, very, very good. 14 goals, 7 assists, a very, very good little winger to have. 1 goal and 7 assists from Elise, 6 goals and 1 assist from Nazari Rusin, including 2 in the playoff final. So thank you, Nazari. I really appreciate the goals you score because they pretty much saved us and got us into the Premier League. So that's big. Finances-wise, we are doing wonderful. We've got £35 million in the bank. We never dipped into the red in this season. And as you know from getting to the Premier League, things are only going to go up from here. We have got a lot of players to go ahead and try and sign. Obviously, we need to improve this club drastically to stay in the Premier League because as well as this club is very good, it is very young, which obviously is the point of this rebuild, but that scares me a lot because Bradley Dack and Luke O'Neill are pretty much the only players over 30. You then got Roberts at 28, Ruzian at 26, and then after that, it's 25 and under. Chris Rigg is also here as well. And Chris Rigg, I believe, is at Sunderland in real life and looks fantastic. So we'll see what we can get out of Chris Rigg. But he's here in the first team, developing quite well. Wisdom and Don is here in the first team, developing well. Job is just an absolute king. I am just worried that this age is going to be very, very difficult for us to sort out. Now, in terms of our loans out, Nectar Triantis was fantastic this season for Oxford. He's got a value of £25 million. He is certainly going to come into this team now for us. He's been out. He's proved to me is good enough. He's extremely consistent. He loves a big match, so Big Nectar is going to stay around. And Elsie Amienda has again had a decent season out on loan, but has no longer got a work permit. So this guy might be fantastic in real life, but sadly I can't use him, which is a little bit frustrating. And boy, do I just wish we could bring back Amad, but that's not going to happen. So let's stop dwelling and get into season 3 and see what signs we can make for our first season back in the Premier League in around 15 years. Of course, this save is available for you guys on Patreon as well. This is available on the link down at the top of the description where you can use all these bargain wonder kids at Sunderland, and there's another 3 seasons to go ahead until we get to the full list as well. A massive thank you to the legends on screen right now. You guys literally help support me do this part-time, and it makes it all so worth it to hear how much you guys love the content, how much you enjoy it as well. And it's obviously a massive way you can help. So thank you to myself as well for releasing these videos. So if you do want to go down on Patreon, that is down below. £5 a month gets you all the rebuild files every single month. So a massive thank you to you guys. Let's get into it though. Season 3, our first season back in the Premier League. Let's get you some more Wonder Kids. So we spent around £50 million, but also sold £25 million worth of players. And that's because, as Elise has left the club to go to Al Nassr for £9 million, which I think is outrageous. We have absolutely fleeced them, and Saudi just have too much money. So thank you, Adji Elise, but going out and enjoy your money in Saudi. Jason Schneelt has left the club for £4 million as well. Again, probably is very, very good in real life after signing from PSV, but hasn't quite developed here on FM. He's gone out to FC Heidenheim, like I said, for £4 million, which is a very good piece of business from us. And Al Shabab have come in and stolen Jack Clark off us. Now, Jack Clark was a very good player for us for 2 years, but taking the money we got for him, £12 million, was very worth it. This guy's got a value of £43 million now over at Al Shabab, and I think is probably one of the best players we had at the club, but we're going to have to try and replace him, which is what we're going to go ahead and do. Now, in terms of signings, there was lots we went ahead and made. There's lots of players that aren't quite good enough yet and are going to go out on loan, and there's lots of players that are way too good for us, like Yersin Shakon. This guy is fantastic, and guess how much we paid for him? £825,000. An absolutely outrageous signing, all right? 16 dribbling, 16 determination, great pace, great crossing. He's going to start over on the right wing and absolutely dominate. He is a fantastic signing. If you've not seen him on your guys' save, £800,000 is release clause over at Deportivo Táchira. So try and get him. Yersin Shakon fantastic player, right? £800,000. That is bargain number one for you guys to go ahead and get. Kevin Andrade. Bargain number two, Venezuela, central attacking midfielder. Looks fantastic, doesn't he? Great for kick out taking, great decision making, great flair, great pace, great dribbling, great crossing. £750,000. Now, this rebuild might not be the most realistic rebuild in the world. I don't think if Sunderland got promoted to the Premier League, they would go to Venezuela and pick off their best wonder kids and survive. But here on FM, this is what it's all about. And showing you guys some absolute bargains to go and sign is the whole point of this. So Kevin Andrade is into the club. Mohamed Waila Darabli, again, found from our Wonder Kid searcher. I would have never found this guy before, but when we signed him, 21 years of age, because we signed him before that date, so he was under 21. He was from ES Tunis. Now, this guy, £5.75 million to sit at the base of the midfield as a deep line playmaker. What a signing. What a signing. And again, I'd have never found him before. This guy looks absolutely fantastic. Playing over in Tunisia, 9 caps for them. Looks great and is hopefully going to be a very strong central midfielder for us. Divine Nawachu, again, I've never heard of him. He plays for Bendel Insurance. Believe it or not, I've never heard of them over in Nigeria. He's 5'2". He's got 15 finishing, 19 determination, and great pace. It's just fun to try and find these players from that sort of the search criteria we have. And again, if you guys aren't doing stuff like that, do it. You'll find so many more players that are so more original rather than going ahead and just signing Nelson Viper like me. You can go ahead and sign Divine Nawachu and he'd be absolutely fantastic. £1.2 million is his release clause over there and he's fantastic. So we'll see what we can get out of Divine. He might not make it now in the Premier League. He might be a championship quality player. I've got no idea of his potential. I haven't got the in-game editor edited active in this save. So I can't see exactly what it is for him, but he looks fantastic. Chan Ujun is a player I've signed as well. He's come in from Nuremberg in Germany for £8.5 million, a value of 30 million, flair of 17, 15 dribbling. Currently showing he's going down in rating, but he's not going to go down in rating. He looks fantastic. He had a very good season last season in his second tier of the Bundesliga, and hopefully this season he can come in and compete with Kevin Andrade in that central attacking midfield role before signing another midfielder to be a backup to Joe Bellingham. It's Rabbi Mateta Papa. This guy starts off your career at Standard Liège and pick him up for just £8.5 million. A fantastic, well-rounded Belgian wonder kid, already a value of £25 million. He's born in 2006. Apparently, FM knows of him since 2015, 2016, which makes him 10 years of age. I've got no idea if that's accurate or not. I'd be a bit worried if FM do know about all the 10-year-olds that are playing football. If they do, fair play. Your wonder kid criteria of searching is quite simply ridiculous. This guy looks brilliant, and I'm very excited to see what Rabbi Mateta Papa can do for us here at Sunderland. There's a backup again to Jude and to a few other players because we've signed an unbelievable midfielder who's going to come in and go straight back on loan to play with Inter Miami and Lionel Messi. It's Benjamin Clemenasechi. This guy is an American central midfielder. And again, look at his stats. Have you ever heard of him? I haven't either. I don't watch the MLS very much. £6 million is all we spent on him, and he looks brilliant, doesn't he? 30 million value. He has got a £30 million release clause because that's all he would take with us. So that could get poached straight away. Hopefully not. He's got great determination, great work rate, great dribbling, first touch, and pace as well. And again, compare him to Joe Bellingham. I mean, this midfield partnership would be fantastic. How well-rounded is that? That is a fantastic midfield partnership for the Premier League and top level of the Championship. Both now a value of over £30 million. Big Benjamin, we're not going to see him this season. He's going to go ahead and finish the year at Inter Miami, but next year Benjamin's going to be in here, believe me. And he's not the only player I've signed for America as well, because Maximo Carizio has come in and signed for us as well. We've loaned him out to Forest Green. This guy, again, born in 2007. It's scary how young some of these players are. This guy, again, FM apparently knows him since 2021, which is very scary. He has been brought in for £4.1 million, loaned out to Forest Green in League 2 of England. It's going to be a bit of a baptism of fire for Maximo, but hopefully he can do bits. A value of £13 million straight into adult men's football in the League 2 of England. That is worrying. I hope he does okay. He's got great potential. He looks fantastic. So we'll see what we can get out of him. Patrick Dorgu, £7.5 million, another absolute bargain. This guy I signed in my rebuild the other day. I can't remember who it was with because I do so many rebuilds. This guy was fantastic at left back. He didn't get too much game time. It was Brighton, and that's because Estupinian was in front of him. But as a wing back on support, this guy's got great crossing, dribbling, and first touch. He's decent enough defensively. He's very, very fast, and you can sign him for £7.7 million, which again is an absolute bargain. So Patrick Dorgu, another one to go ahead and bring in for you guys. There's just 2 more to go, and John Velez is the second to last one. We've loaned him back out to his parent club, Junior, in Colombia. He looks very, very good. A very good CDM, signed for how much? £500,000. You can see the bargains you can pick up using that the searching criteria. I'm going to do a video on that at some point this week on how to find Wonder Kids on FM, because you guys are loving these Wonder Kid rebuilds. I think you want to see stuff like that, so I'll get that out as well. Emmanuel van der Black looks fantastic as well, signed from PSV, signed for just £5 million. He's been playing in the second tier of the Netherlands and looks fantastic again. A great centre back, 6'1", great heading, marking and tackling, the holy trinity of defensive, and is consistent. And we're there. That is all the signings in. You can see all the money here. So just to show you, we're not doing anything tomfoolery. It's all under £10 million. They're all absolute bargains. They're all under 21. And if there's anyone here that I've not gone through that you think is an absolute baller, I do apologise. There is so many incomings and outgoings in this rebuild. It's hard to keep track. In terms of the players out on loan, Kremisecki, Velez, Chris Rigg is at Wigan, Wisdom and Dom's gone out to Barnsley, Maxim Caruza at Forest Green, Zach Johnson at Port Vale, and Marshall Burke at Blackpool. We have started to get some fantastic Wonder Kids come through the academy as well. We've got Colin Chisholm, who's here, who looks great. We've got Cameron Gerrard, who is a box-to-box midfielder. Believe it or not, we've got a new Gerrard. Hopefully this guy can progress as well. We've got Sam Scott, Ben Pritchard, Tommy Watson, all 5-star players here at the club. The potential in this Sunderland team is quite simply outrageous, and that is only the under-21s, because the first team is just as good. Job, Papa, Viper, Uzun, Andrade, and Dorgu, all 5-star potential. All of these are 4.5-star as well, and it's just a very, very strong club. The best team is looking like Patterson in goal, Pembele at right back, Shikati, Triantis, and Dorgu as the back 4, Dybali in CDM, Bellingham and Adeyuche as the 2 midfielders, Chacon as the right wing, Andrade as the left central attacking midfielder, and Viper up front. Now this formation looks very odd. I think it's going to work very well, because using the new positional play, we should see Adeyuche pick up positions like this in attack, or Andrade is set to free roam in these areas. Dorgu is going to come flying up as well, while Dybali sits in. Triantis will go out to cover, and we'll sort of set up a sort of 3-back system with a very attacking wing, but when we're going to fall back because Dybali's going to come in, we're going to basically see a very free-flowing formation with this, and it should work absolutely wonders. So we shall see what we can get out of it. Hopefully safety. That's the key this season, and probably the key for the rest of this rebuild. Can we save Sunderland and keep them in the Premier League? Finances wise, 25 million still in the bank. That is going to skyrocket up. There is still lots of money to spend as well. Obviously this is available for you guys on Patreon, so if you do pick this up by the end of season 5, the money is going to be mental. But let's get into it. Can we survive the first season in the Premier League? Well, not only can we survive, we can absolutely thrive as well. 12th place in the Premier League is a fantastic finish. A negative 14 goal difference is not the end of the world as a newly promoted club. I mean, you've got Norwich, Forest and Burnley going straight back down. We are on 46 points, 6 points clear of the magic 40. Fantastic season. Semi-final in the FA Cup by Manchester City, who did just come second in the league. And I'm not fussed about that at all. Carabao Cup, second round in the by Everton. A fantastic season. We were predicted to fight bravely against relegation. The season preview, we were 900 to 1 to win the league. Obviously, we haven't done that, but we have pretty much outdone us by 650 to 1, finishing up in 12th place. So a fantastic season for us. And the standout players, there is a striker that we signed a few years ago who scores goals wherever he goes, and that man is Nelson Viper. 16 goals and 14 assists, and again I'm going to have to show you his all-time development because it is absolutely fantastic. Attributes all time, look at these +2s all across the board pretty much. Acceleration, pace, jump and reach. He looks fantastic. His finishing's gone up. His composure's gone up too, which is so key for a player of this quality. And the tactic worked very, very well with this sort of Mezzala and attacking midfielder role, because Adeyuche, 4 goals and 7 assists, was fantastic this season. Andrade in the cam role surprisingly didn't play as many games as before. 17 starts, 15 off the bench, and that is because Chan Uzun was the man that played their majority. 12 goals and 4 assists, 33 games. We obviously confused lots of teams with our very sort of inside winger that we've got / attacking midfielder. Yersin Chacon again this season was fantastic. 37 games, 6 goals and 7 assists out on the right hand side. And Jobe Bellingham, yes, Big Jobe, played 38 games this season, 5 goals and 5 assists. And again, because he is the guy everyone's talking about at the moment, we have to go back to all time and look at this guy's progression. Balance +3, jump and reach +3, stamina +2, decisions +3. We've got everything is just flying up in numbers, which is superb to see. And remember, this guy's only 20 years of age. He's got one of the best brothers in the world to take advice off. Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid is doing wonders as well. 19 goals and 23 assists in this season just gone. Did he win the Champions League? He lost in the final. Okay, that's embarrassing. I was hoping he was going to do bits there as well. But he's got a value of 300 million. Jobe's got a value of 30. We'll wonder if we can ever get them together at England. That would be very, very interesting to see as well. But the team is looking fantastic. I mean, we are progressing very, very well. The players out on loan are doing bits as well. I mean, some of them have come back already, I think, but Maximo Carrizio played 51 appearances in League 2, which is brilliant. Chris Rigg played 45 games in League 2. Brilliant. And Dom played 21 appearances in League 1, I believe, which is fantastic. And Benjamin Kriniosecki has come back from his loan as well a little bit early because of the way the weird seasons work, and he was going to be fantastic for us. So we'll see next season we can get out of him. I am very, very excited for how this is looking. Finances wise, we've got £98 million in the bank and £100 million to go and spend. We are disgustingly rich at this point because we're not spending a lot on wages because everyone's like 21 years of age. We're not spending a lot on transfer budget either because everyone is cheap. They're under £10 million. They're all bargain wonder kids. So money is fantastic here at Sunderland. And again, you guys on Patreon are going to absolutely love this save at the end of the 5 seasons. Again, you can pick it up earlier. If you would like to, just drop me a DM on Patreon and I can do that for you. But let's get into it. The signings for season number 4. Can we progress from 12th place? That is what we're looking to do. And I'm already at the point where I don't need to sign too many players. I've signed just 5 players for a combined total of just under £20 million. A lot of them have come in and gone back out on loan. One guy that's sticking around is Reed Baker-Whiting. This guy's an American right back signed from Seattle, and after playing lots of games in the top tier of the American leagues in the MLS, he's going to come in and be a backup in the Premier League, and a very good signing for a measly fee of £4.2 million. So hopefully Reed can do absolute bits for us this season. Pau Sands is another player that I have never heard of in my life. Look at them stats. Look at them. We are finding some superb players that you guys can pick up on your saves. For how much money do you reckon? 7 million after playing lots of games in the second tier of Spain and the top tier of Spain as well. I mean, he is... Did he play... How has he done that then? He's played like 70 games in one season, if that's correct, which is absolutely wild. Apparently, you can play until he's done as well because he plays at all the games possible. 20 determination, 16 flair, 16 on the ball, 14 finishing, 16 agility. Great finishing as well as a cam, as a shadow striker, or as a false 9, or an advanced forward, or pretty much anything. This guy is going to be fantastic. So Pau Sands is in as a backup striker. Matteo Aguiar has come in as well. This guy's an Argentinian winger, and so unnecessary to go ahead and sign him. But for £6 million, I'm just signing as many wonder kids as I can and trying to show them all to you guys as much as I can as well. And you can see I'm trying not to sign too many regens. I do sign some very shortly, but I'm trying to sign as many real players as I can as well because you guys can actually pick these guys up. This guy is unbelievable. He looks fantastic, and like I said, so cheap. He's coming in to go straight back out on loan. Junichiro Nishiwake is a Japanese striker from Cerezo Osaka. Now this guy isn't real. Ignore the player face. I don't know why that's there or why that's him. It's not. He's very quick, great pace, and finishing needs a bit of work. And again, he's coming in to go straight back out on loan. A value of £36 million. We must have spent over 10. No, 4.5. We are picking up bargains central in this save. And again, that's all from the scouting, which I showed you earlier on in the video. So make sure you are doing that. And the last player I've signed is the first regen, Walid Mokhtar. He's come in from Pyramids over in Egypt, £5 million, absolute bargain, and looks fantastic. Can play centre-back or centre midfielder. Great balance, jump and reach, bravery, 6'1", good heading, great work rate. Is going to be an absolute demon. Probably going to progress into a very, very good central defensive midfielder. And that is it in terms of signings this season. You can see in the 2026, that is all we've done. There is one last signing here, actually, which is Tyler Fredrickson for 600k from Manchester United as a backup centre-back. I completely forgot about Tyler. He's fantastic. And again, a very good backup and the sort of player that would do very well in the Championship, I believe, at this point. At 21 years of age, he'd be fantastic to pick up. And like I said, so cheap. You can see last season, 39 games in the Championship and was very good. So feel free to go ahead and pick up Tyler Richardson as well, a fantastic player. And the squad is looking great. Again, we stuck with the same formation. A few new players coming in this time. Patterson in goal, Pembele, O'Neill, and Triantis and Diogu as the back five. O'Neill is still here at the club and is playing so many games as a centre-back. He has developed into a very good ball-playing defender, so hence why he's here next to Triantis. Dybala in DM was fantastic last season, so he's still here. Bellingham and Cremonese in midfield. This guy is going to be a killer in midfield for us this season. Hopefully, we can see him progress very, very well. Chacon, Andrade and Viper is still the same front three. The backups, we're now looking at Bishop, Baker, Whiting, Shakati, Fredrickson, Churkin, Ekwa, Adewuche, Mateta, Papa, Jewison, Benete, Can Uzun, and Pau Sands. And again, so many players in the club, so many going out on loan. All of these wonder kids. The under 21s is just filled with superstars, which I can't do anything with. Some of them won't go out on loan just yet. Some of them are happy just to play under 21s football, and it's a ridiculous list of superstars. So we'll see what we can get out of them. Divine Nawuchu didn't have anything to do last season at all. He played 4 games. Trust me, this guy would be fantastic in the right system, in the right league. The Premier League is too high of a step up for him, but if you can get Divine in, he looks fantastic. Let's just go. Season 4, can we progress from 12th? Well, certainly a more difficult season this season. We did stay up on 37 points in 16th, but we regressed a whole total of 9 points this season, which is a little bit worrying and maybe in need for a quick tactic shake-up, which we shall do for season number 5. Nelson Viper, an unbelievable season. Seconds to only Erling Haaland, or whoever that is, some geezer that apparently scores lots of goals in real life. Chanazone was the second best player for us, 14 goals and 8 assists. He's developed very, very nicely for just £9.5 million. Great flair, great dribbling, great attributes, a fantastic player. Yerson Chacon, again, signed for 800k, remember, 6 goals, 10 assists in the Premier League, looks absolutely brilliant. Cremonese with a 6.95, 5 goals, 9 assists. He's developing fantastically as well. And Big Joe with 5 goals and 4 assists. Again, looks ridiculous at this point. Has he made his England debut yet? He's not. Not quite yet. 921 caps and 921 goals. It's surely not far away for Big Joe, but he's looking fantastic. Dorgu, 5 goals, 4 assists. Benete is sort of now surplus to requirements. He's not really progressed as I would have hoped. Just 2 goals and 2 assists. Some great value and still some potential to grow. Mohamed Wael Delerbi has been fantastic as well. Triantis has been great. Pembele, Adil Awushi. We are just a very strong side with so many wonder kids here now that there is too many to go through. And if I do it every season, this video will be 2 hours long. In terms of the loans and how these guys done, again, absolutely fantastic. We sort this by their actual selection info and how much they played. Mayenda, 28 goals in 46 games. This guy hasn't got a work permit, which is extremely frustrating, but he's been over at Ammonia Niswasa in Cyprus, I believe, and he's been fantastic. He's an absolute bagsman. Walid Mukhtar with very good match rating. Nishwishu over at played at Burnley, apparently. He was very, very good. 13 goals in the Championship is very impressive for a 19-year-old. Gerrard, 17 games midfield. Emmanuel van der Black, 37 games at Stoke. Ben Pritchard, 12 games at Huddersfield. We are now just developing players for the rest of the leagues at this point. We are a feeder club for the world. I mean, and Divine Nawuchu, as I said, get him in the right system. Second tier of Germany, 15 goals in 37 games. This guy could be a superstar. But that is season 4. Transfers wise, again, 100 million to spend. We're not going to go anywhere near that. 120 million pounds in the bank. We're just so rich and doing so well. The club really is one of the best clubs to come to in the world. 4.5-star training facilities, 4-star youth facilities, a debt of 15 million pounds. Not even worth worrying about. We are looking fantastic. Let's get into season number 5. Now, season 5 is going to be pretty much filled up with Wonder Kid regens for you guys to enjoy on Patreon at the end of season number 5. David Serrano is number 1, £5 million. I'm at the end of season 5 at this point, so it's going to be a very quick little wrap up because these guys, you will never find them on your save because they're not real. Juan Hernandez, another one, looks fantastic. Centre back went on loan to Hull. David Soriano is a centre midfielder that stayed at the club as a backup. Wilder Lopez is a centre back from Colombia who looks fantastic, as does what's his name, Farouk Abdurrahim from Egypt. £55 million value, signed for £9 million from Zamalek. Look at them stats. 17 finishing, 16 first touch, 16 dribbling, great pace, great composure, 16 technique. Yeah, he did quite good this season. 11 goals and 9 assists in the Premier League as the backup to Nelson Viper. And Andrea Borza is actually a real player for you guys to potentially go and find. He's a Romanian left back who's got a value of £53 million. And yeah, we signed him for £3 million. Outrageous how good of a pickup this one was. Yeah, I believe it's at FC Rapid in your saves. It's not for Real Constanza. So have a look for this guy. He is fantastic. Again, very good young left back. Looks brilliant. Is the Romanian #1. And for £3 million, you simply can't go wrong. We had to bring him in because we sold Patrick Dorgu for £29 million to Porto because he wants to leave. Adil Awuche left to Al Tawoon for £15 million. Dennis Shirkin to Damak for £12 million. Pau Signs for £9 million to Torino because he wasn't getting much game time and wasn't very happy. Mayenda we finally sold for £2.5 million to Al Tain. Van der Black sold for £1.6 million to Alaves. And we signed 3 more players here and more players just for fun. Alexandro Catelli is a Brazilian left back. He is 6'3" and a fantastic defender. Looks absolutely brilliant. Ulises Jimenez is a Argentinian centre back who I think is available in your guys' saves as well. We signed him and someone very good one, the kid from River, which I'll show you in a second. He is, yeah, in real life, he is here. Ulises Jimenez, 22 years of age, will probably be an Argentinian captain in years to come. Great first touch, dribbling, heading, marking, tackling, great all across the board, great balance, natural fitness and stamina, 6 foot tall, looks fantastic. And again, we picked him up for what, £9 million. And Claudio Echerivi, you all know who this guy is. Now, I brought him in and loaned him straight out to River Plate again to go ahead and get game time because he wouldn't have got it here with us and he needs game time. If you guys pick this save up, do yourself a favour. He is not a 3-star potential. He has potential to be one of the best players in the world. So use him, make him good. He will change your life. Great flair, great off the ball, great technique, great first touch, great dribbling. This guy is an absolute demon. And hopefully you guys can develop him into one of the best players in the world. This season, we developed into one of the best teams in the Premier League. Well, the top half teams anyway. We beat the Saudi money of Newcastle. By how many points? By 9 points. We got Sunderland to the Europa Conference League in 5 seasons with bargain wonder kids under £10 million, under 21 years of age. What a rebuild this has been. A fantastic season in the Premier League. We were absolutely outrageous. Again, second amount of goals from Nelson Viper. Remember, £2.5 million is all we paid for Big Nelson. And look how good he has developed over the years through all of his stats, all of the attributes of all time. He is fantastic. Nelson Viper, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to sign him a lot more on this year's FM after signing him in this time. He looks fantastic. We had the star man, Joe Bellingham, who this whole rebuild was for. 13 games and 13 goals, and 9 assists in 39 games. And again, look at the progress. All time, his attributes are superb and is going to develop into one of the best midfielders. Again, he's 22 years of age. He's not quite made his England debut yet. It's coming. He is smashing it for the under-21s. It is coming. He looks fantastic and is going to be a fantastic player for you in this save as well. And again, I'm just going to click to sort of selection info and just show you the guys the goals. 9-11 from Chacon, 5-8 from Cremonese, 13-9 from Bellingham. Borza did great at left back as well. The tactic, we switched to a traditional 4-3-3, made it a little bit more easy on the team. So again, you guys will pick up this tactic if you like it. I'm not going to release it to say. I might do some more tests on it and see if we can make it better. But this is a fantastic tactic from this season alone, I think. So hopefully I'm going to test this and it'll be even better. But this 4-3-3 looks brilliant for Sunderland, and this team we've built is just absolutely stunning. And again, it doesn't even end at this team. I mean, the Wonder Kids are here. Don't get me wrong. Farouk Abaram is going to be one of the best players in the world. Just develop him. He'll be fantastic. Serrano looks brilliant. And again, we'll go down to the under-21, shall we? And just have a look at all these Wonder Kids. Have a look at them all available for you guys to pick up on Patreon. So thank you so much for watching. This save has been one of the most fun saves to ever make. Just signing Wonder Kids galore is so fun on Football Manager. And if you need to sign some Wonder Kids, use this video to hopefully find you some unbelievable players. Finances wise, we are rich as hell. £144 million in the bank again. Back in Europe with Sunderland. A fantastic rebuild. If you haven't seen any of my rebuilds, the last one I've done was a Brighton rebuild. That is down there. And that was Wonder Kids as well. So enjoy that one. Portsmouth, for me, are one of them teams that just scream at Premier League. Whether it's Harry Redknapp in charge, a wonderful player like Nico Kranjčar, or a striker partnership of Peter Crouch and Jermaine Defoe. Portsmouth, for me, are a Premier League football side. So today, not only are we looking to return to the Premier League after they have just gained promotion from League One, winning the title ahead of Derby, Bolton and Peterborough, we are looking to make them Premier League winners. So grab yourself some popcorn, because this is going to be a journey of a lifetime. And as you can see, we have simulated to the end of the 23-24 season, and Pompey are champions. 97 points, an unbelievable season, and I believe they had a very good season in real life, obviously lifting the trophy and back in the championship for what feels like the first time in quite a while. Obviously a massive meteoric fall from this early late noughties really, for going down to the championship, down into League 2 for a few seasons, and then 5 or 6 seasons in League 1, finally back up to the championship. And I'm hoping by the end of this rebuild, it's going to be a nice little, you know, what we're looking at here, a nice little Coronation Street vibes of the Thames, and we're going to end at the top, and it's going to be winning the Premier League trophy. Now, if we look at this Portsmouth side, I've sort of looked through the team and given a few positions that I want to keep hold of. We've got Matt Macey in goal, looks like a fantastic keeper. Zach Swanson, Regan Paul, Connor Ogilvie, McIntyre, Moxon, Tom Lowry, and Callum Lang. We've got players here like Paddy Lane, again, who looks absolutely fantastic. Very well-rounded. Could probably be a high-level championship player for us, so that's good to see. We've got someone like that here already. Marlon Pack is just a bit of a legend, to be honest. He's been around the game forever. 3.5-star player, 33 years of age. We're going to be giving him a brand new contract. Sparks is a backup left back, and a very good striker as well in Colby Bishop, who could be our starting striker next season, potentially going to be a backup. The good thing here is the board have given us quite a bit of money, £8.5 million and £76,000 in wage budget. So in terms of finances, things at Pompey are looking quite good. In terms of debt, absolutely none. So as long as we do this right, we should be able to get into the Premier League within 2 to 3 seasons, and then lifting that trophy, well, you know, we could do a Leicester and do it in season 2, or it could be 3 or 4 seasons in. So let's get into what we do transfers-wise for season 1. So first of all, in terms of the players being released, we've got Haji Minoga and Toby Stewart. And outgoings-wise, Brian Qualm's gone out on loan to Crewe. Ben Stevenson has left to Bolton for 150k. Gavin White to Rotherham for 375. Harvey Laidlaw on loan at Newport. Kasingi Yengi has been sold to Adelaide. And Will Norris has been sold to Mansfield. And that raised us £675,000 that enabled us to bring in signing number 1 in Thilo Asgard from Wigan, who I believe is actually a very good young left winger. He's Norwegian, he's 22 years of age. He's not got the greatest consistency, but he can dribble, he's got flair, and he's, you know, decently quick as well. He's good on both feet, cuts him from the wings, and I think he could be a very good little tricky winger. We also signed Alfie Whiteman from Spurs for £120,000 to be our backup goalkeeper. And the only other signing for some money was Deshaun Bernard, signed from Sheffield Wednesday. Now, as a Manchester United fan, I'm a big old fan of Deshaun Bernard. He was on loan at Pompey in the 22-23 season. I think he's a fantastic centre-back with outrageous speed and great ball-playing ability as well. So he comes in here to be a permanent signing for £2.5 million. There is also a few freebies. Number 1 is a new backup left-back in Brian Akono Belongo, signed as I believe he was released from Middlesbrough after having low seasons at Woking and Ebbsfleet. To be honest, just a decent backup. He can cross, good determination, and decent enough speed as well. And as a backup left back, that's all we needed to do. Tyrese John Jules, I think, is a fantastic free agent signing. Last season over at Derby on loan from Arsenal. Didn't renew his contract over there. Good speed, both-footed, finishing, dribbling, first touch. And him and Colby are going to make a great strike sort of rotational partnership. And finally, it's Richard Olise, released from Chelsea. 5-star potential right back with good speed again. Not great going forward, but it's only 19 years of age and really comes in as a backup. Now, when we've got a right back as good as Zach Swanson, we don't need anyone fantastic, purely going in for youth. And we look for our team, actually, I think we're actually very strong. Matt Macey, Swanson, Paul, Bernard, Ogilvie, very good defence in there, with McIntyre, Moxon, Tom Lowry, Callum Lang, Asgard, and Tyrese John Jules. Now, obviously, as backups wise, we've got Bishop, who could go up front. We've got Scully. We've got Paddy Lane, who's going to get a lot of minutes. Joe Morrell, Terry Devlin, who I believe is a very good young wonder kid here at Pompey, 20 years of age from Northern Ireland. Some very decent stats and well-rounded indeed. Marlon Pack, Jack Sparks, Conor Belongo, Towler, and Richard Olise, and Alfie Whiteman. A decent enough squad, obviously, this year in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and in the Championship. But we are predicted to come plumb last, 300 to 1, and as we all know, that's not going to happen. I don't think I've ever come last in the season in my life of Football Manager. And before we got there, would be sacked anyway. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and this video is 6 or 7 minutes long. Hopefully we survive. Next season, we're going to look to sort of try and get into that top half, and the season after, automatic or playoffs. That's going to be the goal. Let's get into season 1. Well, obviously in the Carabao Cup, we lost to Burnley. Sadly, it was 4-3. Actually, a very good game, but we went out in that one. And the FA Cup is something that I certainly want to win over the course of this rebuild. Obviously, winning it in 2008 and coming in semi-finalists in 2010. Pompey have a very rich history here in the FA Cup. It's not going to be this season, I'll be honest. We actually got to the 5th round, just time before the quarterfinals, and lost to Norwich 4-3 in extra time. So a game which we probably could have won, but a very decent showing for ourselves in the FA Cup. And as mentioned, it's one I certainly want to be trying to win at some point in this rebuild, as well as the Premier League. Now, first things first, Championship season, predicted last, 8th position, 70 points, and a 15 goal difference. Now, we were quite a way off that playoff places, 8 points away from Leeds, a whole point away from the top 2, but a fantastic season, a positive goal difference, and I'm genuinely shocked at how good we have transitioned into the Championship. Now, if we look through the schedule, things started off very well, as they often do when you are a newly promoted side. Your team has this wonderful boost of morale, and you seem to be able to beat anyone and everyone. So West Brom, Ipswich in the Cup, Hull, Stoke, all just getting battered all over the place, and then you sort of get into November, December, and your team realise they're not quite Championship quality. The good thing here, we managed to turn it around, have a decent run of form, and end of the season actually very strong. In terms of the players which, you know, absolutely dominated the season, Colby Bishop was 10 starts, 20 through the bench, 16 goals. The man's an absolute bagsman. 14 finishing, 12 composure. A true striker. Very good for him. And Tyrese John-Jules, who was our starting striker, 15 goals and 41 starts. Very good. Paddy Lane, who you mentioned could be a good player. Yeah, he is a very good player. 14 goals and 15 assists. 47 games played. Another Northern Irish player. Value of £9 million. Absolutely fantastic. Great to see him doing bits. And Josh Martin, who we never even mentioned, come in and played 42 games, scored 12 and got 13 assists. Fantastic. Marlon Pack as a 34-year-old, 8 goals and 12 assists as well in 46 games. Superb. Scully was 7 and 4, 6 and 8 from Tom Lowry, and 5 assists as well for Connor Ogilvie, and 5 assists for Zach Swanson, who I have mentioned I'm very excited for to be a very good right back throughout this rebuild after joining from Arsenal. But I think this season we've proved we're going to be good enough to stay up in the Championship, and we can move to that playoffs maybe even next season. In terms of transfers, obviously we didn't spend £3.5 million last season. They gave us like 10 overall. We've got £4 million to spend, 50k in wage budget, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and make some more signings. So this season, we decided to sell Tom McIntyre after having a sort of a big backup role last season. And also ended up releasing Jack Sparks, Harry Jewett-White, Brian Quam, and Sam Verlaine, as they've not quite made it at the Championship level. So only £5 million to spend. Who's coming in? Signing number 1 is Chance Simkala, signed from Kiel over in Germany. I've never seen this guy, and at this level, he looks absolutely fantastic. He is 28 years of age, so not exactly a wonder kid, but he's consistent. He likes big matches, good speed, 14 acceleration, and 14 pace at this level, 13 dribbling, 12 finishing, 16 flair, 16 aggression, and he can take penalties with 16 penalty taking. Signed for just £900,000. I think it's a great piece of business. As is signing this guy, Victor Abrego, signed from Raja Casablanca over in Morocco, where he has been absolutely smashing it. 9 goals and 7 assists in 25 games over there. He's joined us for £500,000. He's on an ESC slot as he's a Bolivian international and didn't get his work permit. But I think he's fantastic. Great natural fitness and determination, so he'll be able to run forever. Good finishing, dribbling, and first touch as well. And as a striker or left winger or cam, this guy is great. He is consistent. He hates big matches, so if we get to the playoffs, don't play Victor, and he's a little bit injury prone as well, but for £500,000, an absolute bargain. And I've also decided to bring in a brand new goalkeeper to replace Matt Macey. It's Nicholas Bilakovic from Peterborough. Bilakovic, I feel like I've completely butchered his name. He's an Australian international, 16 determination, so he's going to grow as well as being consistent, and very good stats all the way around. He actually looks very, very good. If we compare him to Matt Macey, who, remember, is now 30 years of age, he's got better distribution, so playing up from the back is going to be great. Only 1 away on the shot stopping, 2 away on the aerial, which he will grow into, and our communication is the same as well. So a big fan of Nicholas. £2 million. I think that's an absolute bargain for a 6'5" wonder-kid goalkeeper. And then back into the free agent signings. Number 1 is Alan Campbell, released from Luton. A little bit of Premier League experience, but in the Championship, he is an absolute demon. Great determination, bravery, and aggression. Exactly what we need in the midfield to replace Marlon Pack. Now he's like 35. Dylan Williams comes in, released from Chelsea. Again, great determination, good speed in him, can cross a ball, and is a good backup left back. And finally, an absolute superstar signing in Antonio Vergara, released from Napoli. This guy's very well rounded in pretty much every single stat and has great physical stats as well as dribbling and first touch. He is consistent, and as you bring him into this team, he sits in that playmaker role next to Lowry in that midfield. Looking at Belakovic in goal, Swanson, Paul, Bernard, Williams, Campbell, Vergara, Lowry, Paddy Lane, Abrego, and Tyrese John-Jules. I think the squad has taken a big step up this summer. We've got a lot more sort of firepower with Abrego, Kobe Bishop, Simicala, Scully, Marlon Pack, Devlin, Moxon, Ogilvie, Belongo, Towler, Elise, and Whiteman. A very strong midfield with an absolute playmaking genius in there with Vergara. A DM who I think could be our DM for years to come, Alan Campbell. And again, a very young backline as well. This season, obviously, we're still being predicted where we finished last season. It's down in 19th, but only 50-1 compared to 300-1 last year. So you never know, promotion could be on. And we've got highlights, which can only mean one thing. We are into the playoff semi-finals, and Simicala finds Tyrese John-Jules to make it 1-0 in 37 minutes. We are facing up against Middlesbrough, who come in 3rd, which means we came down in 6th. So we are not favourites this game, but Tyrese John-Jules makes us favourites, as in 42 minutes, we make it 2-0. Just a minute later, though, before the half-time whistle, Middlesbrough do make it 2-1. This is at Fratton Park, so we have to go out there and try and keep a win. Swanson on the left-hand side finds Dylan Williams for a great run, and Lang is there to make it 3-1. And away from home, Simicala made it 1-0 from the spot in the 89th minute, so it was 4-1 on aggregate, and we were into the playoff finals. When we faced up against Fulham in Wembley, and the playoff final, 63rd minute goal from Tyrese John-Jules was enough to make Portsmouth playoff final winners. And you can see from the stats who were the team on top: better XG, better in shots, a tiny bit less in possession, but a fantastic performance here against Fulham. And we have made a 4-3-3 system which absolutely cooks from absolutely nothing. Buzzing with that, because that Fulham team, you know, consists of James Trafford in goal, Nicholas Romero is a great young centre-back, Brian Gill, Carlos Vinicius, bench-wise, Hamza Chowdhury, Jack Clark, and Kenny Tete coming on. But the mighty Pompey have held strong, and we have got promoted to the Premier League. Now, I don't used to think we've got lucky there, because we're only 3 points away from Fulham in the league with a better goal difference, and 7 away from Middlesbrough. 81 points this season, with John-Jules 28 goals and the top goal scorer. An absolutely fantastic season from the mighty Pompey, and a brilliant season in terms of goal scoring from him. But overall, the whole team just absolutely cooked this year. Our signings have been fantastic. John-Jules, 31 goals and 4 assists. Chance Simicala is a 28-year-old coming in, 17 goals and 12 assists, signed for just £900,000. Antonio Vergara playing in that playmaker role, signed on a free from Napoli, 10 goals and 13 assists. Victor Abrego, signed from a Moroccan team, Casablanca, I believe it was, 9 goals and 9 assists. Paddy Lane, 8 and 13. Deschamps Bernard, an absolute rocket at the back with Regan Paul. Both of them being absolutely fantastic with some great value on them as well. Zach Swanson, 3 assists. Marlon Pack still playing them games, but sadly is retiring. So it is the end of Marlon Pack here at Portsmouth. Dylan Williams, 6 assists in 37 starts. Didn't look like he'd be able to do it at the start of the season. He was brilliant, as was Nicholas Belakovic, who has grown very well, now 23 years of age, a £9 million value, signed for just £2 million. A fantastic signing. The only thing is, of course, the board have given us £38 million, so this team could get ripped apart and we could improve it massively. A whole host of money in the wage budget as well. Let's make Pompey a Premier League side. And obviously, as well, for anyone over on Patreon, make sure you are signing up using a link down below. You get access to this rebuild file at the end of the rebuild and somewhere in the middle as well. Let me know if you want anything else in there. I keep all the saves for about a month, so you guys can pick them up over on Patreon, £5 a month, and you've got no idea how much it helps support me to create, as we're looking to attempt to go full-time, hopefully pretty soon. Things like Patreon, where you help support me, do an absolute world of good. Like the legends on the screen that have been running down, they help me out so much. £5 a month is all it takes, and you can literally make my dreams come true, potentially making content creation full time. So a massive thank you, link down below, head over to there, and thank you so much for your support. Well, signing number one is a big one. It's Fabio Carvalho, signed from Liverpool. His career has never really got going since that unbelievable start to life in Fulham. Obviously moved to Liverpool, and since then it's sort of gone a little bit topsy-turvy. Looks like in real life he might have recovered it over at Hull, but here on FM, it's not quite gone to plan, so he's coming to Pompey to play off the left-hand side. And Mark Stranjar is, I believe, what we call an absolute bargain. £1 million signed from Maribor. A Slovenian 10-capped international, was consistent with 12 crossing, great speed, and also decent defensively as well. Yeah, we take them. And what a rotational striker coming in is Noel Lopez, signed from Tenerife after they signed him from Real Madrid last season, second tier, 12 goals, 2 assists. This season, he comes to be a backup striker to Tyrese John Jones for £2.2 million. Great finishing and composure, 13 and 15, and decent speed. Great decision making and balance, and extremely consistent. I'm hoping Noel can be that rotation option we need. We have still got £20 million to spend, so number one coming in is Xavier Simmons, signed from Hull, a wonder kid DM, English, 4.5 star potential, 2.5 star credibility, consistent, doesn't really love big matches, but great natural fitness, great teamwork, and is a solid midfielder. And maybe a brand new goalkeeper to replace Nicholas Bilakapac is Adam Stejkal. I don't make it easy myself, do I? But this guy's got a 4.5 star current ability. Rather than potential, we've brought in someone who can do it now. 5 caps for the Czech international team. Great jump and reach and positioning with great strength and aerial reach as well. A consistent international for the Czech Republic. A great signing for just £4 million. Bino Silan is the next man to come in. Another Slovenian actually coming into the club as well. Another guy with 5 caps as well. This one's £4.1 million from Inter Milan to come in and be a rotational with the Vergara, the guy we signed from Napoli. This guy's only 21 years of age, but is consistent, very fit, great vision, and also a very well-rounded player. Raul Walters is one of them players that if you've ever done a lower league save, you know and love. This guy is great going forward, great speed, and decent defensively. Costs just £2 million, signed in from Arsenal. Already a value of 15 million. And the final signing for actual money is Jamal Baptiste. Now this one is quite cool. He is released from Manchester City on this save, got down to Swindon in the National League, and I found him and he looked quite cool. 300,000 purely to be our 4th choice centre back. I don't think he's pretty much ever going to play, but great tackling, heading and marking, great composure and decent speed, 6 foot tall. Not a bad little signing for 300k. And the reason he's 4th choice centre back is because Amin Al-Dakili has come in from Burnley to be a 3rd choice, and he's a hell of a lot better. Burnley released him. I don't know why. He's consistent. He likes big matches. Very around in terms of physical attributes, and defensively is great. Can also play out from the back as well. So very happy to get this signing over the line. In terms of outgoings, there was a few, but nothing major. Josh Martin left, Harvey Laidlaw, Theo Alsgaard's left, Christian Sadie. £1.2 million was raised. We have still got a little bit of money here and there to spend, but I don't think I'm going to be spending it. Just £4 million isn't a lot in terms of Premier League players. And our team, I think, is looking good. I think it's not really Premier League level. I think this could be a rough season. A bit like Ipswich in real life at the moment. Getting that back-to-back promotions. Obviously, we had a year gap in the middle, but our team maybe is still a little bit behind. There's Stejkal in goal, Zach Swanson and Stanjar on the wings, of Dishon Bernard and Regan Paul at centre-back. Xavier Simmons, Bino Silan and Vergara in midfield, with Paddy Lane, Fabio Carvalho and Noel Lopez leading the line. Most likely, John Jules is going to go there. We've also got Abrego, Sim Carla, Tom Lowry, Alan Campbell, Moxon, Dylan Williams, Jamal Baptiste, Amin Al-Dakili, Raul Walters and Bilakapic. I actually think the good thing we've got here is that our backups, I think, could give our first team quite a good game. We'd probably lose by like 2-1, but it'll be a very tight game. I think we've got a very solid squad rather than just a good first 11, which is good because games in the Premier League come thick and fast, and obviously they're always difficult. We are 1,000 to 1 to win the league. 5 times less than Leicester were when they won it. Now, we know the bookies have changed their view on things. I don't think we're going to win the league. I think it's going to be a real struggle to stay up. We're even half as good as Sunderland, apparently. So it is going to be a very, very tough old season. Let's see if we can stay up. Well, it all come down to the final day of the season, and we needed Leicester to lose to Manchester United, which they did. Even though Harry Maguire back at Leicester scored a penalty, we had to beat Everton at home. And that looked very unlikely as 2 minutes in, Leon Bailey got them off to a very good start. But Ceylan whipped the ball in and it falls to Xavier Simmons to make it 1-0 on the 43rd minute for Paddy Lane. Whips the ball in, it comes back to him, he brings it down. shoots against the crossbar, and the man signed from Casablanca, Abrego, makes it 2-1, and in the 75th minute, Fabio Carvalho shows the quality, a Rabana, and Lane is there to make it 3-1. Imagine, right, the audacity. If you don't win, you will get relegated. And Fabio Carvalho whips out a Rabana cross, and we score. A 3-1 victory. I'm not proud of this season in the slightest. 34 points, same as Leicester. Minus 30 on goal difference. We've done it by 2 goal difference as well. So, I mean, we could have easily not stayed up. But luckily, due to our goal difference, we were miles clear of Burnley, miles clear of Sunderland, but that was a rough old season. Everton were actually in 16th and were at no risk of being relegated, but a very tough day for them, a tough season for them as well. But I tell you what, the biggest thing there, we have survived and we are Premier League again. I don't know how we've done it. I think it's just similar to what Leicester done in real life. So, you know, never know. Season 4, we could win the Premier League trophy. That's not happening, is it? Let's just be honest. But in terms of where we predicted 1,000 to 1, I'm baffled at how we have survived this by a single, well, 2 in the goal difference charts, which is fantastic. In terms of our data hub, it's not a good look, is it? 0.92 goals scored per game, conceding 1.71. We were getting battered pillar to post. And when you look through the schedule, it was a very weird run into the end of the season. Draws to Newcastle, West Ham, Burnley, Wolves, lost to Palace, drew to Brighton, drew to Manchester City at Fratton Park. A goal from Fabio Carvalho. We got battered by Liverpool. We beat Manchester United, but then we'd go on awful runs of form. Like, what on earth is that? That is a disgusting run of form, including losing 6-0 to Manchester City. So we were lucky that they were feet up towards the end of the season and could draw against us, which is great. But overall, we somehow survived. It's absolutely fantastic. Goals-wise, yeah, there's not a lot. It was all Tyrese John-Jules. Paddy Lane from League One to Premier League, 6 goals, 6 assists. Mark Stranier, the £1 million left back, got 5 and 5. Fabio Carvalho, 5 and 7. 3 and 1 for Victor Abrego. Antonio Vergara, still decent, 3 and 4. Our best player overall in the whole season, though, was Adam Stejkal, the brand new goalkeeper signed, 33 appearances and a 6.92 in the Premier League. I remember, cost us just £4.1 million, now a value of 12, but a fantastic signing. And we allocated that ESC slot. Absolutely right to do so. A brilliant goalkeeper brought in. The boards have been nice to us. They've given us £46 million. One thing I do want to say as well, the club just do not produce wonder kids at all. Half a star youth recruitment. And it's so bad, there's only an under-18s team. There's no under-21s. So we're not going to get money wonder kids come through. And when they do, it's going to be so sparse. So you might not see any come through, to be honest. We've got Danny Young and Lucas Churchill here. And I think in the squad, there's a couple. Mikey Sharp looks great, and so does Nigel Whelan and Max Page. But whether they become anything, I don't know. We are in a fight and survival mode rather than grow wonder kids. So we might not see them progress into anything. Hopefully one day they do. Let's get into season 4. And what was clear after last season is what we really needed to shore up the defence. So Santiago Mourinho comes in a £10.5 million signing. He starts off in the career world at Atletico Madrid, signed for £2.3 million. He then moved to Real Palace, then to Forest, then to Sunderland, and then to us. He's doing a trip around England, but Santiago has found his home. And from there, we only spent another £6 million, £5 million that on Hamza Chowdhury to be a very good rotational DM. £1 million on a bargain winger, a Zambian international, Edward Chilafuya. This guy looks fantastic from FC Midtjylland. Great flair, amazing speed, 5'7", great dribbling, crossing, finishing, and first touch. Consistent. £1 million is an absolute bargain. And finally, a free signing of the ages is Gabriel Sara, released from Norwich. This guy could be the difference. He's extremely consistent, loves big matches, he's got one stat less than 11, and that's marking at 8. Well, for me, he's going to be a going forward centre mid or a central attacking midfielder. And he's exactly what I need. I have his positioning there at 9 as well. So going forward, he's great defensively, not great. This guy is the absolute key. A free signing with a value of £51 million. Norwich, what are you thinking? I've got no idea, but I'll take him in for sure. Stejkal in goal, Zach Swanson and Stajnar as our wingers, wing backs, with Bernardo Mourinho as centre back, Javier Simmons, Bernard Salan, Gabriel Sara, Chifulia and Fabio Carvalho with Tyrese John-Jules. Still using though a lot of the players here from the start: Bilakabic, Rule Walters, Dakali, Regan, Paul, Dylan Williams, Hamza Chowdhury, Alan Campbell, Vergara, Abrego, Paddy Lane is still here, as is Noel Lopez. And Paddy Lane is a wanted man. A £25 million value. I'd certainly be cashing in. We've had a few offers. He just won't end up accepting any contract because he loves Portsmouth, apparently. He signed there in 2022 from Fleetwood. He has been lights out good in this save. So if you're doing a Pompey career, make sure to use Paddy Lane. How are we going to do in Season 4? Hopefully not staying up on goal difference. Hopefully much further up than that. And well, actually, apologies, because the save file that I had for the start of that season was actually wrong. I also signed Datro Fofana, which was a great signing from Chelsea. He ended up scoring 12 goals this season. Apologies, the save file. I do it where I save it at start of season 4, end of season 4, start of season 5. I saved it wrong. Apologies. We signed Datro Fofana for 8.75 million, 11 goals in 30 games, a bagsman striker. And we also signed Ethan Laird from Bristol City. He cost us £20 million, but a fantastic attacking right back this season. 32 games and 4 assists. And both of them signings, apologies again, led us up into 12th place in the Premier League, 45 points. Still a negative 18 goal difference, 17 losses, 9 draws and 12 wins, but a much better season than last. A whole 11 points better off, a much better goal difference. And when we look at the data hub, it's a lot better. We're scoring more goals, we're conceding about the same, to be honest, which isn't great. But tactically, I think we're getting there. We've moved into a 4-2-3-1 system with sort of an attacking 2 here. Only 2 players on attack because I'm aware we do not want to get absolutely destroyed. Chowdhury and Gabriel Sara in DM. Carvalho, Lane, Chafoya and Datro Fofana. Stranyar, Laird, Bernard, Regan Paul and Stejkal were all in the team there. Apologies again that this is a bit of a mess up with this season. Goals-wise, Datro Fofana absolutely carried, scoring 12. Sara 8 and 4, the free signing of dreams. With Stanyar 5 and 4. Paddy Lane still plugging away. 5 goals, 6 assists, 30 games. He just loves it. He's fantastic. Javier Simmons, great as well. Jalufia for £1 million, now value of 34. 5 goals, 6 assists in 33 games, a bargain signing. Abrego, he's leaving now, but 4 goals. This signing, I absolutely loved. I love scouting over in random leagues like in Morocco. Again, signed for 500k. He's been a very good player for us. An absolute bargain. Great determination, great natural fitness. I implore you guys, go and look at random leagues. Take your scouts out to go over and be in Africa and Asia and Oceania. They'll find you some great players. And this guy has turned into a vice captain and he cost us £500,000 and led us to Premier League football in 102 games. 14 goals, a very good winger for us. Absolutely a massive fan of Victor Abrego. But yeah, season 4 is a little bit of a weird one. In terms of the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, I've not touched on it in the last couple of years. This time, second rounds by Oxford in the Carabao Cup and 4th round by Manchester City in the FA Cup. So getting them back is going to be very, very difficult. But I suppose after I mess this up, let's get into season 5. Right, there were some big outgoings this season with Royal Walters leaving for £8 million, Noel Lopez for 5, and Mikey Sharp, the wonder kid youngster we had, sold for £2 million to West Ham. As mentioned, I really can't afford to be developing wonder kids at the moment. We've also let Alan Campbell go to Motherwell on a free contract as well. Signings-wise, number 1, Vicente Pizarro comes in from Colo Colo. This guy has cost us £2.5 million. Why is he so cheap? He's so consistent. A little sort of 5'8", ratty little defensive midfielder and a Herrera vibes. A massive fan of this signing. Matthias Fortjolovic also comes in. A very determined young left-back Norwegian, now an international there. 14 crossing, 16 determination and decent speed. Very strong on both feet and is consistent. A bargain of just £3.1 million. And then we bring in 2 Spanish capped players that are both absolutely fantastic. Number 1 is Fran Beltran, coming in to really shore up that defensive midfield position. 29 years of age, so brings some experience as well. He has cost us £21.5 million, but 4 seasons in a row, missing just 1 game over in the top tier of Spain. It's exactly what we need. He's consistent, he loves big matches, and he's absolutely brilliant. And finally, it's Brian Zaragoza, signed for Bayern Munich this season from Granada. Last FM, one of my favourite signings to make. I signed him on so many Wonder Kid rebuilds because he was incredible. This season, I've hardly touched him since that move to Bayern Munich, but 16 dribbling, 16 flair, outrageous speed. Hopefully, Big Brian can be the key in this Pompey attack. And it means the team is looking like so. We have moved our free agent signing Gabriel Sara up to Cam, Chilufya on right, Zaragoza on the left, Datro Fofana up front, Beltran and Pizarro in DM with Lovic, Laird, Bernard and Paul. Both here, by the way, from the Championship to now, with Stejkal in goal. Backups-wise, Pilakapac, Swanson, Dackley, Marino, Stajnar, Simmons, Chowdhury, Paddy Lane, Celan Carvalho, and Tyrese John Jules. We are progressing as a club this season. I think one of these is the goal. Maybe the Carabao Cup, maybe the FA Cup. I don't care which one. I just like some silverware. Season preview, we're back down to still being the worst team in the Premier League. Simply look at this team. I can't back it. Whoever's making that, completely drunk, because this team is actually very rounded and very good, and again, a very good squad. So let's upset the odds yet again. I'm going to bring you back with some highlights, which can only mean good things, right? Well, it's the Carabao Cup, and it's the semi-final, so it's a two-legged affair, and Nicholas Jackson scores, which knows we're in a alternate universe, so we're 1-0 down to Chelsea, but that high press pays off, and Datro Fofana gets a goal against his own club on the stroke of half-time past Mamardashvili. Dijon Bernard then finds a ball into Fabio Carvalho, a great ball at the top, and the backup striker, John Jules, makes it 2-1. And we take things back to Fratton Park, where if we can save ourselves, we will be going into the finals of the Carabao Cup. Well, Florian Wirtz has got something else on his mind. He makes it 1-0, and Chelsea are going to make it 2-0. At this point, we are going out. We are going home. So it's time to get a equaliser. Paddy Lane on the ball finds Ethan Laird on the right-hand side. He whips it in, and Datro's there. It looks like it's going to extra time. 91st minute, a ball into the back stick, it falls to Swanson, it falls to Beltran, and Zach Swanson, the man coming up from League One, scores in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup and makes Pompey a Carabao Cup finalist. But sadly, in front of a packed out Wembley of 90,000 people, a 1-0, a Rodri header, and Manchester City just have to break our hearts and win the Carabao Cup. And winning the FA Cup, again, we got straight to the 5th round, placing up against Liverpool. We lost 3-0, so sadly no cup competitions this year, but a fantastic season. Final of a cup. I didn't think we were saying that just yet. I was aiming for it. I didn't think it would happen. You shoot for the stars, you might just land on the moon, and I suppose the Carabao Cup in this instance is that moon, isn't it? And we've slipped off it and gone into orbit. So it is what it is. In terms of the Premier League this season, we've had an absolutely fantastic season, coming in 9th on 58 points. Goal difference is -2, and that's what stopped us getting Europe next season. The Europa Conference League would have been great, because I think we could definitely do something in that. Aston Villa, 96-point champions. Newcastle 2nd, Spurs in 3rd. I like this with FM this year. There's a bit more randomness in who wins the league. Hopefully it can be Pompey soon, but sadly not just yet. 58 points is a fantastic tally, and we have shown sort of a real good graph in terms of growing Portsmouth from that League One club. As I mentioned, I want to see the Thames. We're seeing it. We're seeing the Thames. We don't want to see the other downside. We want to leave it at the top. But so far, we are doing wonders, and it's going to go up again into the 8th position. I think we've had a great season. We've had a great rise so far, and I think we are doing very, very well. It's just a chance of, making that next step. And the board have given us £70 million to do that, and 60k in wage budget. With finances-wise, obviously, we're absolutely minted. When you become a Premier League club, you can see it here, the turn on 2006. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So let's get into Season 6. Well, the goalkeeper we all know and love, Adam Stejkal, has left the club, and he has gone to Newcastle for £12 million. But that's a great bit of business. He sort of got us up to that next stage, but we are looking for a keeper to take us to that next level. So 12 million is an absolute steal for us. Hamza Chowdhury has also left at 31 years of age after 2 very good seasons. Leaves us to Middlesbrough, and we made a profit as well. Signed for 5 million, sold for 6. Thank you, Hamza. And it's with, regret and sad hearts we do move away from Zach Swanson. We've sold him for Heidenheim for £675,000, which I think shows the level that he is at. He's only a 2-star player, and it was time to move on. So first of all, that brand new goalkeeper, Ilan Meslier, signed from Leeds for just £21 million. He's now 29 years of age. He's extremely consistent. He loves big matches, and I was comparing him and James Trafford. They were both £21 million. Meslier come out on top. 18 one-on-ones, 18 area reach. Give me a bit of that. We've got a superstar keeper. And Valentin Barco is our next signing. The wonder kid that Brighton have signed in real life. The ginger Argentinian who's now made 13 caps for Argentina. Well, he's only made 24 for Brighton in 5 years. So let's come to Pompey and let's make him a superstar. Very consistent, loves big matches. He's an, I mean, you all know this guy. He's a wonder kid. Everyone knows him. He's simply fantastic. And our first big region signing also coming in. It's a young English CDM poached from Derby with great anticipation, bravery and determination. Decent speed in him as well. He's 5'8", so a little nimble guy, but a very good signing for £14 million as a rotational option. With a brand new DM to partner up Fran Beltran, being Mohamed Ali Ben Ramadan, signed from, well, was a free agent released from Ferencvaros, a Tunisian international, 96 caps over there, and again very similar in the consistency, every stat other than 2 above 10, loves big matches, extremely consistent, a great DM for free. And the final signing is Syrian international Mohamed Al Aswad. This guy is looking fantastic. He starts off his career over at Al Kharma in Syria. Middlesbrough signed him for £3.1 million. He progressively got better and better and better in the Championship before we signed him for £24 million. Incredible determination, great speed, dribbling and finishing as well. Consistent, 26 years of age, so can still progress, and a great signing here at the club. And that is it in terms of our business. So Melier in goal, Ethan Laird, Deschamps Bernard and Regan Paul still here. Barco at left back, Ben Ramadane with Fran Beltran, Al Aswad, Gabriel Sara, Sadagotha and Fofana leading the line. Let's go Pompey. Season 6. It's time to lift the trophy. Well, it's not going to be the Carabao Cup. We have lost to Spurs 3-1 in the 4th round. But we are here at Wembley in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and we're up against Southampton. And Emil Smith-Rowe gets them 1-0 up in 24 minutes. Valentin Barco drives down that left-hand side with absolute speed and passion. It falls to Mohamed Al Aswad at the back post, and he makes it 1-1 in 29 minutes. So we make it 2-1 thanks to a header from Moreno at the back stick. And that was it. We'd won the semi-finals. And the final wasn't against City, United, Arsenal, Spurs. It was Brighton. And exactly like the semi-final against Southampton, here at Wembley, we're going to go a goal down. Could we, though, repeat history and get 2 back? Well, João Pedro with an absolute screamer there, plus an injured Elan Meslier, which was a bit unfair, is there. Gabriel Sara, remember that free agent signing from Norwich? He's quite good still. A goal there in the 60th minute. And in the 70th, that £1 million signing Chilufya finds Regan Paul. It falls to Brian Zaragoza, signed from Bayern Munich. He lifts a trophy with Pompey. The FA Cup is back after the first time since 2008. 22 years on in 2030. Pompey lift another major trophy. That's quite sad, really, isn't it? 22 years, but after what's happened and where we are now, that's actually not awful. And I think we've got Pompey back to the very top, lifting trophies yet again. And well, I'm very glad we ended up lifting that trophy, because this season in the Premier League, we fell off a little bit. Actually, in terms of points, we got 1 point less and improved our goal difference to 11. So you know what? The Premier League got better, and there wasn't a runaway winner. This time it was Spurs on 77, which actually explains a hell of a lot. We're only 7 points off Europe again. Only 4 points off 8th place and 4 points off where we finished last season. 1 point away from our point tally last season with a positive goal difference. Actually done very well this season, but we have got Europa League football because of the FA Cup win, which means we're in Europe for season number 7. 17 wins, 6 draws, 15 losses, 11 goal difference. The board, they love money. £60 million and 75k in wage budget. But this season, I feel like we made a big step. And I mean, it's all thanks to this guy, Gabriel Sara, a free agent signing from Norwich, 30 years of age, 19 goals and 8 assists. Unbelievable the fact we picked him up on a free. Dacha Fofana signed from Chelsea for 9 million, 18 goals and 2 assists. An unbelievable player. I've used him a few times in this FM, and I say it all the time. Last FM, everyone loved Dacha Fofana. This year, no one looks at him. He's still absolutely brilliant. Give him a chance. Brighton Zaragoza, 11 and 13. Mohamed El Aswad, 8 and 13 as well. Tarish Dunjul still here at 29 with 5 goals and assists. Mark, the £1 million signing at left back, 4 and 4. And Edward Chalufya, the £1 million signing, 4 and 1. And a whole host of games in the Premier League. A great signing, the Zambian international, still worth £18 million. And Paddy Lane as well at 29. Is still here. He is now transfer listed, and we're trying to get £24 million for him, but he's doing bits. And I'm so happy with how I've progressed this club. I really am. Season 7, I think we can make big strides if we get in the right players. And well, we're at that point in the video that I like to call silly season. Rosevaldo, a 6'6" Brazilian striker signed from Corinthians with 17 finishing, 17 composure, 17 flair, and 13 pace and acceleration. Yeah, silly season is here. He's consistent. We might have the next best striker on all time. He's got 24 goals just a couple of seasons back. £13 million was release clause. If we don't win the league, I'll be baffled, I can't lie. And that was only signing number 1, because for £1.5 million, we go back to South America, as I'm now going to do. We have a wonder kid who's fairly determined. He looks incredible. £1.5 million signed from Defensor Sporting in Uruguay. 16 leadership, vision, technique, dribbling, 17 balance. A great little tricky DM. Emil Lasur is up next, a Danish central defensive midfielder signed from Midtjylland with great determination, technique and speed. Roberto Ertex Maria comes in, a Spanish international from Atletico Pamplona. Yes, I'm going to be honest. I have gone straight Wonder Kid shopping. I have gone straight to the Regions list, and I've decided this is the year we're absolutely going for it. And if not, season 8 will be the year, because we've got so many Wonder Kids coming in. We're going to progress into one of the world's best teams pretty quickly. And it's quite easy to do on Foot Manager to find these Wonder Kids that are going to absolutely break the game. So Roberto is in. Gianni Dragne is in as well, a Romanian midfielder with 20 determination, 16 composure, 17 passing, 17 technique, 16 vision and teamwork, and 17 balance. And don't worry, I'm going to show you how I'm finding the Wonder Kids as well in just a second. We signed him for £2.9 million. He's already worth 91 million. And then we find this guy, Jelmir Kanizaj. He looks quite good, doesn't he? He cost us, guess how much? Guess how much he cost us? £200,000 from Croatia. 7.27 last year. I don't know how he's that cheap. He's incredibly consistent. Yes, he's injury prone. I don't care. I'll play him for 15 games a season and he'll be absolutely brilliant. It doesn't end yet, because Ricardo's come in, a Brazilian, 17 dribbling, 16 first touch, great speed and agility. He's simply fantastic for 12 million. Alejandro Gomez comes in from Norwich. The best thing here, they've done the scouting for me already. They've signed him from Veliz. He's got great marking, determination, bravery, anticipation, and fantastic physicals. A left-footed centre-back signed for 20 million. And finally, a non-regen, a bit of experience. Joe Scally comes in, 243 games for Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he's here at Portsmouth to be our starting right back. Now, how I set up my sort of scouting focus, the ones I've set up are literally these two. Head over to South America. 1-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability, ongoing. Give him a couple of scouts of good determination and, adaptability and knowledge of the area. And watch him just absolutely cook. And the exact same in Europe, the exact same requirements, 1-star, 2.5-star. This time 4 scouts, because I want to get more out there so they can give us more players. And if we head over to the players scouted is where I often find all of my little players from. Obviously you can see when I was looking for that ridiculous striker. What I'll do is head this by recommendation. I will sort this by age. At this point we're looking at sort of 24 and under. And we can also get a transfer value on a max of like £10 million. Just look at some of these players. Jesper Hartog. He looks absolutely brilliant as a winger. Absolutely fantastic. Been found. Almir Segaldo. £1 million. Yeah, a good little goalkeeper. Let's sort this by ability so we see the best ones in here. We've signed a lot of them, to be honest. We've got Erkan Koyulu. £7 million. Can play anywhere, but in DM. Absolutely fantastic. Duje Reic is 24 years of age. A centre mid with great passing ability in there. 6.6. Basile. He looks like a good right back, doesn't he? He's pretty decent. 1.8 million. Multin Stojanovic. A striker with 15 finishing, 30 composure. Them sort of stats. 19 determination, 17 and 17 technique. Both footed. And it's all done from literally just setting them scouting bits up. And you can find players like this. Guido Ladania, a right winger with 18 determination, 16 flair. Obviously, I've gone and signed the best ones possible. Hence, there's not that many on this list at the moment. And that was all under £10 million as well. So, you know, you can pretty much filter it to where you are as a club. If you've got loads of money, filter it to 40. If you've not got a lot, filter it to 5 million. You'll find bargains like the Cam we've got as the backup. Kanizaj, and it'll be absolutely fine. Melier, Scally, Exteberia, Gomez, Barco, Surf, Beltran, Piloto, Sara, Ricardo, and Fofana up front. I think the best thing as well, what we've done, as we've gone through this rebuild, we've actually built quite an experienced squad, and now we're sprinkled with the Wonder Kids. So 30 years of age, 27, 22, 21, 25, 21, 31, 20, 31, 22, and 27. And the backups are all that sort of age as well. 27, 28, 32, 29, 26, 19, 30, 27, 21, 29, and 22. I mean, we've done absolute bits here in terms of building this squad. I think this could be pretty easy, to be honest, to win the league. With some of the players we've signed, we're predicted 15th. You're telling me this sort of striker, Rosivaldo here, is going to get 15th in the Premier League? Yeah, that's not happening. The Europa League, you should be scared. All these cups, you should be scared. Season 7, It's Pompey time. Well, first of all, I've got to say I'm gutted. We're not back-to-back wingers of the FA Cup. Sadly, Manchester United win this time. Everton beat us on penalties. And just to mention, the top goal scorer in the whole competition, Zelmir Kaniazaj, £200,000. Yeah, 10 goals and 6 starts. What a signing. And also a pretty cool one. Joe Grimwood has the best average rating. Up the Braintree town, just promoted as well. What a legend. 324 caps at Braintree. Just a quick little side note. Where are they? I don't know because I've not got the league loaded. Oh, they've got relegated. Livid. I'm absolutely livid. Fuming. We won't talk about that anymore. See you later, Joe Grimwood. Good luck. And the Carabao Cup, we are not going to win either. 2-1 loss to Sunderland. Liverpool are winners of that one. In the Europa League, we had a fantastic start in the league phase. 21 points, the point away from Liverpool, but the best goal difference out of anyone. Which obviously means we skipped the knockout playoff round, moved straight into the round of 16, and we battered Hamady 5-1 on aggregate. We then drew Spezia in the quarterfinals, which I think is quite nice. We beat them 4-2 on aggregate, which means the semi-finals we are straight into. But it's Atletico Madrid. Where game one was at the Estadio Metropolitano against Madrid, and they are quite good. A very old Conor Gallagher finds Smartvic to find Ngoy to make it 1-0 just after half-time. Luckily, we're going to make it 1-0. We've got a big man in the box, but it's not going to be him that's going to score. It's the other one. That Fofana darting at the back stick to make it 1-0. Looks like a dwarf next to Rossi Valdo. A great penalty there from Smartvic makes it 2-1. And sadly, it's going to be 3-1 to Atletico Madrid, giving it us all to do at home at Fratton Park. And we're going to start it by conceding a goal in 30 minutes to Wilfred Gnonto. But what we are going to see is how good Rossi Valdo is, because I don't think you're actually ready for what's about to happen. Right, so we're going to win a ball back here from Sur. He finds it in the box, and it falls to Al Aswad to make it 1-1. But at this point, we are a goal down still. Ricardo finds Al Aswad. He finds Gabriel Sara. Gabriel Sara finds Ronnie Valdo. He bursts through on goal and scores. Sorry, now we're 1 goal behind still because it's now 2-1. It's now the 91st minute. Rossi Valdo scores. We're level. Rossi Valdo, I don't think he understands what extra time means because he's going to get an extra time hat-trick. He's there again at the back stick, and we're now a goal ahead. And as Atletico Madrid pushed everyone forward, Rossi Valdo decided he wanted more. Dacha Fofana sweats it across, and Rossi Valdo is there. I don't get how good he is. He scored in the 42nd, 91st, 94th, and 96th minute. Sorry, Atletico Madrid. We've just got an absolute monster on our hands who loves scoring goals late on. 18 shots, 8 on target. Absolutely battered there, Atletico Madrid. Through to the final, and it's Liverpool, the team that come top in our way. And we're going to see a Rossi Valdo masterclass. Again, I've got to say the goal of this rebuild is not to win a European trophy, but we are going to. We're going to win the Europa League. And Rossi Valdo got us 1-0 up. Al Aswad then going through is going to sweat it across. And we're going to see Dacha Fofana make it 2-0 from the edge of the box in 50 minutes. And Liverpool just simply couldn't keep up. It was Valentin Barker on the left-hand side. He found Strajnar to find Ethan Laird. He made it 3-0. And the pretty interesting thing is here, yes, we've won the Europa League, which is pretty awesome. I've just noticed this. The Craig Bellamy Park in Wrexham, built in 2026. What world are we living in at the Craig Bellamy Park? Absolutely baffling. Have you ever seen that before on your saves? Let me know down below. This game against Liverpool, we were actually quite dominant. More shots, a better XG, less possession, but that's what we do. When you have Rossi Valdo up front, who scored 23 goals and got 7 assists this season, we don't need to keep much of the ball. But the best thing about this whole rebuild so far is this Premier League season. The drama we got into along the way was absolutely incredible, and the winning run was fantastic. But we were up against Tottenham Hotspur, who had gone toe-to-toe with us throughout the whole season. And of course, it came down to the last day of the season, where we actually faced up against Tottenham Hotspur. And as you can see from the highlights, Gabriel Sara found Regan Paul, finds Datro Fofana, who finds Fran Beltran to make it 1-0 in the 78th minute. And that was the only goal of the game. We actually managed to beat Spurs, which means as we head to the Premier League table, we won the whole thing. 40 goal difference, 86 points, 25 wins, 11 draws, just 2 losses all season. A whole host of draws, way too many in my opinion, but 25 wins. A fantastic Premier League season means the challenge of the rebuild of making Pompey Premier League winners is done here in Season 7. I think it's the same amount of time as with Wrexham. Let me know in the comments down below. I think that's correct, if I'm honest. Which is actually a season worse, technically, because with Wrexham, we started in League One. Here we started in the Championship. So we actually rebuilt Wrexham better, technically. The main thing for me here, this rebuild, obviously we've done fantastic. We've won the league, etc., etc. I have never seen Will Lancashire turn this good? He is the Spurs striker. This season scored 26 goals in 30 games and dropped a 7.38. If you guys are doing like a lower league save or something, try and pick this guy up when he's cheap, because he's now worth 225 million and is absolutely incredible. I've never seen that in my life. He is simply ridiculous. And we didn't have anyone on the top goal scorers chart. I don't know if we've got anything in the team overview. We were third on most goals scored. We conceded the least amount of goals of just 30 all season, which is fantastic. And our standout performers this season, of course, Rosivaldo, Gabriel Sara dropped 18 goals and 19 assists and was our best player on a 7.23 as well. It's simply fantastic. A free agent signing from Norwich, an absolute, steal. We've done bits there. Go look at what your saves. Ricardo, 15 and 4. Datrafana, 15 and 7. Al Aswad, 12 and 7 again. Look for him in the Syrian League. A signing here, we signed from Middlesbrough, but from the Syrian League, a great signing who was brilliant. Kadi Azaj, the 200k signing, 10 goals and 4 assists. Joe Scally, 8 and 12. Barco, 7 and 11. Mark Stranyard, the £1 million left back, 50 games, 11 assists. Fantastic. Michel Polito, 7.10, 4 and 3. Emil Sur, 4 and 7. Zaragoza, 3 and 3. Dragnier, for 2 and 1. We've got a whole host of Wannakits here that you guys will love over on Patreon, so make sure you are looking at that down in the link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video as we return Portsmouth back to Premier League winners. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll speak to you next time.